So this kid takes a blade clean through the skull. He just pulls it out and stands right back up. Shoot him, electrocute him, drop a truck on him, same result. You can't kill him, and people keep finding that out the hard way. The one catch? Blow him to pieces and he's a little slow to reassemble. Yeah, he's a heart mutant, born with a heart that drags him back from any death, which is the exact reason a lab spent 10 years killing him, over and over. He clawed out 3 years ago, half his face bare skull, nowhere to go. Homeless, eating dog food in an alley, until one schoolgirl treats him like a person. Then the world comes to take her away. Bad move. Street gangs, a swordsman who cuts steel, a man who turns to solid stone. He walks through every single one of them, all to reach the friends a lab buried and brought back as living weapons. Some of them sold him out, some of them want him dead. He's going to drag every last one of them back out anyway. But before the monster, before the lab, it all starts with one very bad day. Most stories open with a birth. This one opens with a death, and somebody screaming no. A hand closes around live wires, blue current snapping off them. One thought, don't get caught. Two men in suits have the kid pinned, and all he's thinking is, can't get caught. One pins his arm while the other chokes him down. Caught, and it's all over. A stripped wire meets a captor's bare hand, and the current leaps across. A column of energy rips into the storm. The choice is already made. He'd rather die than be caught. The voltage lights all three up to the bone. Dying doesn't scare him. A heart of resurrection sits in his chest, glowing in the dark. Burned down to a skeleton, pink core in his ribs. And he won't die. And he doesn't. He rises from the blood, one red eye burning. The resurrection boy. In this world, certain hearts aren't ordinary at all. They're a mutation, surfacing in only a tiny sliver of people. Depending which one you get, it unlocks abilities far past human. People had a name for them, heart mutants. Everyone envied that power, a blessing from God. Meanwhile, one of them digs through trash. A blessing, he scoffs. Don't make him laugh. The plan is simple. Dig through the trash, find something to eat. Hunger's winning, and he's pretty sure he's going a little crazy. Buried in the heap, a slice of bread someone just threw out. Best part, it doesn't even smell that bad. Hood up, half his face bare skull, the kid sinks his teeth in. A stray dog pads up beside him, tail going, just watching. He holds out a scrap, asking if it's hungry too. The dog wolfs it down and he murmurs, good boy. Then voices drift across the lot and he freezes. His first thought, the lab finally tracked him down. But it's just neighborhood punks, boxing in a schoolgirl. The girl stammers that she's a high schooler. They couldn't care less. Then he clocks her bag, puppy food. Same reason he came. So the kid steps out and tells them to knock it off. They peg him for a hobo. He flatly corrects them. He's not. Then the blonde one lunges with a scream. The bat comes down hard and another one drops. Then a finger at the last one. Get lost. That does it. They bolt, one shrieking that he's a ghost. The cornered girl sits frozen, barely managing a thank you. The kid reaches down to help her up. From her angle, a skull lunges in. She throws her arms up, screaming at him to stay back. Then the terrifying figure keels over face first into the dirt. She blinks down, thrown by the sudden flop. What she's staring at is a torn open bag of dog food, and the skull-faced guy is happily crunching kibble, kindly apologizing for the scare. Then, very politely, he asks if she'd mind him eating more. That breaks her. She sprints off, screaming that it talks, leaving him with the strays. The kid watches her go, figuring he should have known she'd bolt. Back to the kibble then. At least now he eats in peace. Around the corner she peeks back, shaking. What even was that? Then she wonders, was that even a person? Could anything live like that? Wait, the girl stares him down, wondering if he's one of those heart mutants. Heart mutants supposedly come with all kinds of powers, and this boy just saved her. Now the protagonist crouches with the strays, scavenging dog food. The schoolgirl steps up, hands shaking, and holds out a sandwich. Floored, he asks if it's really for him. She apologizes for bolting earlier over his face, and he swears he doesn't mind. First time anyone's offered him food looking the way he does. The rapper says Subway, something he's only ever seen in the trash. Then he takes a bite, and it's pure heaven. So fresh, he figures he could die happy right here. As far as he's concerned, this girl is a literal angel. The girl fishes for a name, floating Mr. Skeleton, then Mr. Bone Man. He just gives it to her, G.O. She beams and introduces herself as Song Haiji. Then she asks why he's out here, and he admits the lab is hunting him. A lab? Chasing him? And just like that, her smile drops. Slumped among the strays, he explains the lab hunts heart mutants like him. The schoolgirl asks, shaken, what they did to him. The skull mask tilts toward her, and he takes a beat. 10 years of it. Fed poison for new drugs, organs harvested for others. She barely gets the words out. 10 whole years. Tortured. The reason he survived? A heart of resurrection. A red core that rebuilds any damage. That regeneration, he admits, is why half his face came back as bare bone. Mind made up, Haiji tells him to come with her, at least for now. She grabs his wrist and hauls him off, brushing aside his startled "where to?" Her fingers wrap right around his skeletal hand, and he can't stop staring. The thought lands quietly. Looking like this, a girl is holding his hand. A blush spreads over the bare skull as he frets that this is a lot. Then her grip slides up his bared bone arm, and something in him jolts. The whole arm pops clean off in her grip, and she shrieks holding it. She panics. He just shrugs. It falls off sometimes. The kid lines the arm back up, then asks where they're even headed. The skull-faced kid in the new tracksuit just stares, thrown. Heiji beams, holding up shopping bags. His rags make him stick out. Grinning, she admits it's cheap, but it'll do. His half-skull face cracks into a flustered grin. They're wonderful. Clutching it close, he feels a warmth almost like skin. Then she reaches for his hood, saying they're not finished yet. Out comes a makeup compact, since the bare skull still shows. The reveal. Rosy blush on the cheekbones, a faintly blushing skull. The girl frets it's rough, but now dangerous people won't know his face. She buries her face in her hands. He just blinks, lost. One look at her phone and she panics, late for her academy. The schoolgirl waves goodbye and dashes off, and he murmurs it was nice meeting her. A shout back to mind the puppies, and the girl's gone. Wig on, glasses on, the makeup nearly passing, he watches her go. And her name is Song Haiji, the bright schoolgirl who dressed up a walking corpse without a flinch. Minding her dogs, the kid wonders if that means she's back tomorrow. Back in the lab, they treated him like a test subject, nothing more. Every stranger he passed just bolted at the sight of him. Among the strays, he marvels. She's the first person to treat him human. He owes the dog, though. Without it, he'd never have stuck around for her. Crouching nose to nose, Gio wonders what to even call it. Then he lands on Gamja, and the dog barks its approval. That thing they called Subway was really good, he thinks. Heiji bought him clothes, even talked to him. A real angel. He's already looking forward to tomorrow. Stay here, and he sees her again. But then he catches himself. What is he even thinking? He's hunted. Stick around, and he drags her into it too. So the kid decides he should leave this place. He needs to go where he belongs. Down by the water, a dark doorway waits. Then he's flat on the concrete, sprawled out beside the trash. He bolts upright screaming, dangling the culprit by its tail. A mouse. Slumped in a grimy alley, he figures he passed out from wandering. Then his stomach growls. He's starving. Kibble in his palm, at least he packed dog food. So he decides to picture a glorious Subway sandwich instead. Green is lettuce, yellow is bread, brown is meat. And it really does taste like Subway. Then he freezes mid-bite. Half his face is bare skull behind round glasses. A big stray lunges for the kibble. There goes his Subway. Nose to nose, he scolds it by name. Gamja, that stuff isn't for you. Up close, he's mostly bare bone, only a few patches of flesh left. The dog just pants back, happy, and his anger fizzles out. Leaning in, he asks how it even got here. A dark thought creeps in. Then his eyes blow wide as it clicks. If the dog made it here too. For once, he's glad his face is just bare skull, nothing to give him away. A girl with long black hair glares down, demanding how he left without a goodbye. Arms full of snacks, she says she almost couldn't find him. The whole pack swarms him. If he still had skin, she'd see how happy he is. She finds him among the strays, fuming she's been searching all day. Crouched by the pups, Heiji scolds him for vanishing in that state. Head bowed, the kid admits he left so he wouldn't be a burden. But the schoolgirl just softens and says she's glad she found him. Even the little one missed him, she adds, as Gamja licks his skull. Then she lays out a spread of snacks and says they should eat. Digging through her bag, she points out he's barely eaten since yesterday. She pours milk over a tray of cookies and tells him to try it. The kid lights up like it's a miracle. Spoon in his bony hand, he marvels. Yesterday's sandwich was great, but this wins. He takes a bite, and tears stream down the skull. Brain melting, he begs her to try some. She just laughs. Then his bare shoulder pulses red, flesh creeping back over the bone. Heiji leans in, wide-eyed, begging to see the spot where it grew back. Up close, she goes silent, transfixed as raw tissue knits over the bone. She asks if it always crawls back this slow. He cuts in, no. Gio tells her a wound like this would normally take years to heal. Then he adds the catch. Only if he refuels by eating food. The other way is soaking up a lot of blood. But that only works back at the lab, so for now, food is enough. Heiji asks if the lab healed him. Sure, he says, to keep experimenting. That's why they never stop hunting him, no matter where he hides. It dawns on the girl, so that's why he tried to slip away. Get close to him, he says, and the lab puts her in danger too. She shoots to her feet and says they should go straight to the police. A station's no better, he says. They treat him like a monster. Heiji waves it off, because it turns out her older sister is a cop. And here's the kicker. Her sister is a heart mutant too, just like him. The boy blinks, stunned. Her sister's a mutant? She nods. He goes quiet, the dog beside him still not sold. Heiji drops to his level, grinning, and begs him to trust her once. Then she heads off, promising she'll be back early. Crouched over the dog, she tells it to behave for the shelter. Then Gio ruffles Gamja's head and thanks the dog for saving him again. This time he swears no running off. He'll come back for it. The two of them watch the pack get led behind the shelter fence. After 3 years running, someone finally reached out first. Strange feeling, he admits, watching her smile, someone actually wanting to help. Alone in the alley, the kid wonders if he can stop running now. Then something snaps his attention and his eyes go wide behind the glasses. A black van slams into him, glasses spinning off. He hits the asphalt face first, half his skull scraping the ground. A bald bruiser clamps a hand over Heiji's mouth, another barking to grab the kid. The gang piles out and closes in, moving to drag him off the road. Two of them pin his arms and wrench him up, the skull face straining. One of them flicks a gold lighter, sparks a cigarette. Their scarred boss leans in with a smirk, drawling that he's finally got the skeleton. Wig ripped off, his bare skull showing, the order drops. Take him, make him pay. Down the road, a line of black vans tears off in a hurry. A scream rips out as the world blurs past a side mirror. Then Gio lies sprawled on the asphalt, thugs scattered around. Teeth clenched, skull bared, the kid grinds out a curse. He hurls himself down to stop them, the road shredding his hands bloody. One bone socket, one human eye. He screams that this is all on him. Because they've hauled Heiji off too, two of the crew dragging her away. The boy claws across the pavement, choking on his breath. With a trash ability like his, he survives anything and saves no one. Skull split between bone and flesh, the protagonist begs for someone, anyone. Then the answer comes bounding down the hill. The strays charging the van. The whole pack closes in, gathering around the wrecked kid. The rope at his neck snaps clean in two. Down the road, the van guns it, and every dog tears after it. They swarm the fleeing van, snarling, blocking its path. Inside, one of the men curses, fighting to lose them. The gang piles back out, turning on the dogs that boxed them in. Gamja presses against him, yelping, scared out of its mind. They round on the pack, stomping and swinging at the dogs. Beaten flat and bleeding, the kid sees the dogs taking the hits for him. He claws at the ground, telling himself to do something. But the dogs keep getting torn into, blood flying with every hit. Then it clicks, and his eyes lock on the blood. He can soak up the spilled blood and rebuild a little. So he drags his broken body toward the pool, begging himself to hold on. A few feet off, Gamja's still snarling, holding the line for him. Then he reaches it and freezes. One of the dogs lies still in the red. His empty sockets go wide as it finally hits him. Slumped among the bodies, he calls them by name. Not one answers. Then something cracks open, and his mind drops 10 years back. For 10 years in that lab, he hung in chains and bled. Same routine every morning. Blood pumped in, organs cut out, on and on. Back in the lab, two coats just watch him burn, day after day. Strapped to the slab, he couldn't die even if he wanted to. So he planned an escape. And by sheer luck, he made it out. He figured he'd finally be happy once he was free. But the world outside met him with nothing but hate. Everyone he met out there despised him on sight. Alone in a sea of trash, to all of them he was a monster. And in his chest, the heart of resurrection kept beating, red and bright. But now there are the dogs, and there's Heiji. For the first time, somebody treated him like a human being. Then he tears off down the street, faster than he's ever moved. His thin skeletal frame hunches forward, the red core flaring in his ribs. Red light spirals across the asphalt as he whips around. Standing alone in the road, the kid throws his head back and screams. His one red eye blazes wide, blood streaking down. As the light fades, the skull is gone, his whole body human again. Then the protagonist stares at his own hand, breathing the words, "My body." Every patch of skin has grown back. It has fully returned. Just like when he was a kid, blood pumping. No way, he thinks. There's no way. And it clicks. It came back with the dog's blood. The three thugs gape at him. His body's fully regenerated. What is he? One asks the boss what they do now, and the boss just snaps back. Then a fist comes around and caves the bald one's face in. The kid drives it up clean, no effort at all. The blow launches him straight into the side of a van. He crumples against the dented metal and doesn't get up. But Gio isn't looking at them. He's holding Gamja's body. He pulls the dead dog close and bows his head. Eyes hidden, voice low and flat. He knows how to make a death hurt. Only whoever answers first, the boss spits, sweating now. One eye burning red, the dead dog cradled close. He asks where they took her. Black sedans sit parked in the dirt outside a quiet warehouse. Inside, Heiji is on her knees, demanding to know who these people are. Whatever the answer is, it stops her cold. A whole crew looms over her, way more than the three he wrecked. Dazed, the schoolgirl manages a "Where am I?" voice barely holding. Then she spots the shapes on the floor and realizes they are bodies. A heavy hand clamps her head. One of them gripes she is too loud. The scarred boss crouches, fisting her hair, asking if someone has a few extra lives. He flashes the lab photo. Test subject 10101. She got dragged in for helping that freak. Still gripping her hair, he warns her to keep quiet if she wants to live. His glare goes flat. Nobody here cares what happens to her, even if a couple of people turn up dead. Her eyes go wide. Right then, a phone lights up, buzzing with a call. A thug in the floral shirt answers, snapping why they're calling instead of coming back. Down the line, he demands where the skeleton bastard is. Then, baffled, what about the dogs? Then his voice cracks. The skeleton turned human? The boss grabs the phone, barking at whoever's babbling to explain the dogs. Heiji catches the word dogs, and the dread starts piecing together. The skeleton. The man goes dead still. His guys lost him. He explodes, screaming they're useless. They have no idea what that kid is worth. The phone shatters on the floor. Bring him back or they're all dead. Then he wheels on Heiji, fisting her collar. She knows where the skeleton went. He screams in her face to talk, right now. She chokes out that she doesn't know. He isn't buying it. Out comes a knife. A few extra breathing holes might jog her memory. Gio warned her he was hunted, and the schoolgirl curses herself for staying. The blade kisses her chin, and she has no idea what to do. He hauls her up, knife at her throat. Then a body comes flying and slams into the concrete. A whole room of thugs with bats, and one just got launched off his feet. In the doorway, backlit, a lone figure stands. Black hair, human face, dead calm. The boss turns, cigarette hanging, and can't place this stranger at all. The figure fills the doorway, and someone mutters, "Who's that brat?" A tattooed thug with a blade fronts up, sizing him up as some beggar. Then something moves too fast to follow, and the thug jerks back. A hand clamps his throat, and he chokes out, asking how the kid is so strong. Gio lifts him clean off the floor, voice flat. It's because of them. All the dogs died. Two more come charging, screaming at the rest. A fist slams into his head. He barely turns. Eyes half shut, dead calm. He doesn't even feel it. Then he hits back. One punch and a thug goes flying, spit and all. Another grabs him from behind by the collar. Sure, he's got him. Three pile on, yanking at his hair and face. Blood runs down his brow. His eye burns red, and he just smiles. He throws one clean over his shoulder into the floor. The last two freeze, finally getting what they're up against. Gio crouches over Gamja's body, voice gone flat, and turns on the three of them. Both eyes burning red, he asks if Hermes' lab is the one that sent them. Off to the side, gagged and bound, Heiji starts piecing it together. The skull-faced figure she once called Mr. flashes back to her. The boss yanks her hair, realizing the human kid and the skeleton are the same. Brokers had warned them he could come back unrecognizable after a full regen. A round slams into his chest core, and the boss dryly thanks him. Gun still smoking, he finishes it, for walking right into their trap. Then he bellows for every gun they scored off the deal. The crew opens up, muzzle flashes lighting the warehouse. Taking him alive, they yell, is a bounty worth way more than payback. Shoot until he can't regenerate, they scream, but he just keeps coming. Round after round tears in, and still the kid stays standing. It hurts, and he feels every bit of it. His flesh rips open where the bullets punch through, and under it, the bone shatters. Ribs caving, he figures his lungs are torn. He can barely breathe. Off to the side, Heiji is sobbing for them to stop. One more swing and the protagonist finally drops. A thug sneers, stubborn one's down. He lies there, eyes rolled back, blood leaking from his mouth. Then a pale hand twitches, sliding through the spreading red. Body sprawled across the plant, a lake of blood. His hand reaches into it. Deep in his chest, the heart of resurrection flares awake, a red star burning. Over their own downed boss, one of the crew screams for him to get up. Then the corpse they made starts to rise, blood whipping up into him. A thug stammers it out. He's getting up like a zombie. Gio stands tall, blood swirling around him like it's his now. Panicking, the others claw for their guns again. He feels every single bullet bury itself in him. They don't just pierce, they tear him apart. Yet the wounds keep sealing and the pain just starts over. Fists rain down on him, but he barely feels them. Compared to everything he's already endured, this is nothing. The experiments, the torture in that lab hurt so much worse. The bald bruiser winds back and drives a fist at his face. Another wild swing comes hooking in from the side. A red eye glints over his shoulder, dead calm. A punch like that is nothing. He can take all they've got, and the thug's face tears open bloody. The boss lunges in, hair flying, throwing everything into one punch. Then something shifts. None of this is what gets to him. A pale, skeletal hand snaps out and catches the fist cold. What does drive him crazy? He flings the man across the floor. The other two freeze, rattled, no idea what they're looking at. He hurls the rest off their feet, one by one. They killed the only ones who ever stood up for him. With one sweep of his arm, all three go flying. A fist snaps a thug's head sideways. Gio has gone cold. The last man braces, dragging Heiji up, screaming at him to stay back. Then he presses a gun to her head, threatening to put her down. The protagonist doesn't even slow. Never again, he swears. A punch caves the thug's face in, teeth bared with the swing. He'd never see his dogs again, and that drove every blow. The bruiser hits the water tank and folds, while Gio stalks closer. Bloodied and broken, the guy begs to be spared, promising anything. The protagonist just stares down, cold, not a flicker of mercy. Then he drops on him, core flaring red, fist already swinging. The blow lands flush, blood bursting as the man chokes on it. His knuckles grind deep into the thug's face, pinning him down. A kick launches the wreck of a man clear across the floor. Then the protagonist rains it down, blow after blow, nowhere left to crawl. It's over. He stands still, one fist soaked and dripping red. Gio drives one last punch into the bald thug's wrecked face. The rest of the crew is already sprawled across the warehouse floor. Then he straightens up, chest heaving, finished with all of them. A small voice calls out behind him. Mr. He turns. Heiji sits slumped against a pillar, still bound. She asks if he's really okay after being shot up like that. Then she throws her arms around him. Thank goodness. His face crumples, jaw clenched against the tears. Clinging tighter, she's just relieved he's alive. The puppies died protecting me, he says quietly. But what scared him most was nearly losing her too. Since she made it out, he chokes out a thank you. Why is he thanking her, she wonders. Her hand presses flat against his chest. She pulls him closer. She's the one who should be thankful. By morning, the police have the warehouse, barking at suspects to move faster. They write it off as a gang turning on itself, stunned at the damage. From behind a tree, the two of them watch the squad cars roll in. Heiji says her sister told them to stay out of it. A heart mutant makes it messy, so they slip into the dark. Once they're safe, the schoolgirl finally breaks down sobbing. The kid loses it too, face buried in his hands. Surrounded by the strays that lived, he keeps whispering sorry. One by one, he names every dog they killed. It's his fault, he tells himself. They followed him to save him. A brief flash of warmth became their whole world, and they died for it. She cuts him off. Not his fault, they gave their blood for him. Then, through the tears, she gasps. What is he doing? Gio bites into his own hand, betting his blood is special. A thin ribbon of red curls out from his fingertip, but the wound seals instantly, and he curses how fast he heals. Teeth clenched, the boy claws at his own face. It knits shut anyway. Heiji grabs his hand and stops him. This only makes the dogs sadder. He wonders if the dogs resent him for dying because of him. Resent him? She holds tighter. Those dogs liked him, she's sure. They usually kept their distance from people, she says. But they liked him. Lost, he echoes it back. They avoided everyone else? It's true. The strays were scarred from abuse, full of bad memories. He had no idea. He just figured they were gentle by nature. So if the kid keeps blaming himself, their little hearts ache too. On his knees, he cradles the dead dog. Those beaten strays came to him without hesitating, and that means they sensed his pain. Same as them. Side by side under the trees, he murmurs, "Thank you." Together they kneel over the body, saying their goodbye. Then a tiny survivor pads up, Gamja's puppy, somehow still alive. Quiet woods, a pup between them, and everyone freezes. Wait, it's looking right at him, and it won't stop. He asks if it hates him. Its whole litter died because of him. Instead, the pup just paws at his hand, tongue out. This one doesn't hate him either, nuzzling in with a happy whimper. Then it's out cold in his arms, spent. Hyeji chews her lip. Can't leave a newborn out here. Take it home. But what about him? Those lab people weren't ordinary thugs. She bolts off, shouting she's calling her sister, leaving him with a baffled, "What?" on the phone. Handled it like Sis said, but no idea where to go. Whatever her sister advises, she wraps up with a cheery, "See you later." So off they go together, the kid cradling the pup like it's nothing. Come nightfall, a tall apartment lights up over the city. He steps into a warm, lived-in place, and one word lands: a home. At the door, he hesitates, clutching the pup. Is this really okay? Heiji laughs it off. He risked his life for her. How is he dangerous? Then she adds her sister wants to meet him. Her case ties to the lab. Me? He echoes. It's fine, she says. Just come in. He stops dead at his own reflection. The kid lunges at the glass. Heiji panics, asking what's wrong. Cheeks, a nose, even lips. His face is back, and he's stunned. He never knew. Since he was little, his face barely regrew at the lab. Hands on the glass, the boy realizes this is what he looked like. The more they talk, the more it rattles her. Something's been bugging her. Fully healed, he's no middle-aged man. So how old is he? Even a guess. His age? He has to actually stop and think. Into the lab at 7, the year-end test 7 times, 3 seasons since escaping. About 17, he figures, and Hyeji does a full spit take. Same age? She demands why he ever let her call him Mr. Sheepish, he just liked being addressed like a person. That lands, and Hyeji just stares, struck silent. Inside, she's reeling. Kind of sad, but honestly kind of cute. She drops the formalities, just names now, then sends him to wash up. The puppy's already face down in its bowl. He hits the sink. Then he digs into a real home-cooked spread, blurting how warm it is. Just soy sauce egg rice, she says, then thanks him for clearing every bowl. Beaming, he swears it's the best food in years. Then she mentions her sister bailed last minute, probably swamped at work. The table says it all. Every bowl scraped clean. Then she points him to the couch, and he can hardly believe it's his. Gio swears the floor is fine. She just hands him a blanket anyway. Homework to do? She tells him to sleep first, then shuts her door. And then it's just him, alone in the quiet. Clutching the bear print blanket, he glances around, half braced for it to vanish. A flat screen catches his eye. He marvels TV's got this thin and huge. Flowers in a pot, right there in someone's home. So unlike the lab. He paws at the sofa like witchcraft. Stunned, it's softer than his lab cot. The little pup laps at its water bowl, then buries its face in the kibble. Kim Jio's eyes blow wide in alarm at the food bowl. The pup couldn't care less, snout down, hoovering up every last crumb. He goes white and shrieks at the little guy in pure panic. Blanket and all, he vaults off the couch to save a pup that's only after seconds. He freezes over it, baffled. It's munching away perfectly fine. The surviving pup tips its head at an empty bowl. A stray tear catches on his cheek, but he waves it off. It's nothing. Tucked under the teddy bear blanket, he holds the little dog up to his face. Burying into the soft bedding, he marvels how cozy a real bed is. Nose to nose, the boy figures it likes it here too. Now for a name. Gamja's puppy, so he riffs on the food theme. He settles on Twig'im, and the pup barks like it approves. Curled around the warm pup, Gio thinks, so this is happiness. A hot bowl of rice and egg, the first real meal in ages. Sinking into a warm bath, he can't believe how good it feels. The puppy clambers in too, the two of them grinning over the rim. And a soft bed to sleep in, nose to nose with the dog. But the smile slips away. These are the kind of things that can vanish in an instant. Somewhere in his memory, a voice screams for everyone to run. Patients flood a corridor, one half skull among them, all racing for the exit. Armored guards give chase, ordered not to let the top-rank mutants escape. A blast tears through them, and someone goes down screaming. Bodies in white scatter across the shattered floor. A guard kneels, rifle up, then freezes. One of them is still moving. Fire erupts, and a soldier is hurled clean off his feet. Risen in a bloodied gown, a woman throws out wings of ice. "Snap out of it, Kim Ji-oh!" A voice screams at the skull-faced boy. A girl in the same lab gown shakes him hard, the place crumbling around them. "Hurry!" she yells. "The exit isn't far!" "Right," he manages, and grabs the hand hauling him up. Together they bolt toward the light. That hell finally behind them. But the two got separated at the very last second. Somewhere out there, that person could be suffering all over again. That's why he won't let it be taken from him again. Not this small scrap of peace. Not even this happiness. Deep in his chest, the heart of resurrection pulses a dull red. Then Ji-oh pulls the little dog close, one eye glowing. No matter who it is, he won't let them get away with it. Then, across a sunny neighborhood, a scream tears down the steps. Turns out it's the kid, charging up the stairs, bawling for fried street food. "Where's his Twig'em?" he sobs, the grim vow already forgotten. Lacing up her shoes, Heiji calls out that she's off to school. Her sister's back tonight, she adds, so watch the place. "Tonight," Ji-oh echoes, tensing. "Yeah, lots of work," she says. He waves her off and watches her go. School must be fun. But Twig'em's up on his hind legs, clawing the door, whining. Both crouch down, baffled. What's gotten into the pup? Not sick, not bored. The little guy just wants a walk. She's got class, so Ji-oh offers to take him out. She hesitates. What if dangerous people come after them again? He shrugs it off. Human face back. Nobody recognizes him now. That settles it for her.
Well, that's a relief.
One catch. Leash on first, second drawer over there. Out on the street, Twig'em bolts everywhere, tangling the leash. The pup ends up knotted in the harness, thrashing. Twig'em howls on his back. Tied it too tight, the boy wonders. Then it hits darker. He wore a leash like this once. Back in the lab, one move and the wire torched him. Still, no choice. People get nervous if you roam loose, so he just asks the pup to forgive him. Then his face lights up. It slipped the leash. It can escape too. He throws a fist up, bawling proud tears, cheering Twig'em on. The pup soars off, paws out. The real resurrection boy. Reality hits and he tears down the street, begging it to answer. He throws open a trash bin, frantic, checking inside. Flat on the ground, he peers under a car. Just mice and cheese. Down an alley, he digs through more garbage bags. Maybe here. He sinks down, clutching his head, spiraling. What if something happened? In his head, the worst plays out. A truck on the tiny pup. Or worse, cackling lowlifes closing in to hurt it. Last night, he swore to protect it. Not even a day. Crouched at some strange gate, the protagonist lets out a lost little sound. Is this a school? And there's the runaway, parked in the bushes. Twig'em, he calls, but the pup just flops around, having a blast. He bolts after it, figuring the dog tracked her scent here. Some tracksuit guy spots the stranger sprinting through the grounds. Wait, he starts, but the kid blows right past. Then he gives chase. So this is who Mr. Lee meant. Why so fast? Twig'em, the boy keeps yelling, barreling across the yard. His path cuts straight through a soccer match in full swing. Kids everywhere, playing ball, talking, lazing on the steps. Peeking from cover, the protagonist watches them. So this is a school. Then something catches his ear and his mouth falls open. Kids are swapping rumors. Heart mutants supposedly started in a lab. One brags about a billion-won bounty on mutants and the dark trade behind it. Out on the street, thugs joke that catching one means jackpot. Tucked behind a tree, he tells himself to stay calm. Find Twig'em. Down the path, the runaway trots, tail wagging, happy as can be. Meanwhile, three girls rap a dance challenge and crowd the screen. They gush over one of them, Minjong, calling her looks unbelievable. She waves it off with a smug little smile. Whatever, you two are cute too. Right then, the puppy trots straight up to their feet. They melt, scooping it up and cooing over it. Out comes a phone for the story. Huddle in so the doggo shows. They strike a pose with the pup. Then a strangled cry rings out. The girls whip around and recoil, pegging him for a creep. The kid throws up his hands, stammering an apology. Great look. Leaf stuck on his head, he stammers he meant no harm. That's his puppy. And just like that, they melt again, only now over him. He's gorgeous. Gym clothes, they figure. A first year, maybe a transfer. He asks if that phone's filming him. Yeah, it's a TikTok. Wanna join? Who cares, they laugh. He's cute. Inside, he panics. Not on camera. A phone shoves into his face. Give me your Insta. One holds it out. Twig'em under her arm, promising to tag him. The other Others whisper they've never seen Minjong ask anyone for an Insta. 100,000 followers, get tagged and yours climb. He just blinks. Insta? She sizes him up. Cute, shy, perfect arm candy. The protagonist covers his face. He doesn't have anything like that. A close-up smirk, dead sure of herself. Huh? Then he bows deep and turns her down flat. He means it. The gossip pair nearly choke. No way, Minjong got shot down? Her grin twists, a vein popping. He's just playing hard to get. He reaches out, getting to the point. That's his dog. Give it back. Pup hugged tight. He swears to Twig'em he'll never lose him again. Off to the side lurks a red-eyed Hulk, teeth grinding. He glares at the protagonist ringed by girls. Who's that bastard? His buddies clock it, ribbing him. Hey, Taegu, isn't that your crush? A guy using a dog to hit on Minjung? And nobody knows him. A transfer maybe. Taegu seethes that some punk's moving on her. He grabs a ball off his blonde friend who blinks. Why the ball? A brutal windup. The blonde panics. He broke a nose with that once. His boot smashes into it, the ball warping flat. Not his problem, he figures. The ball screams at the protagonist. Geo, pup in one arm, just glances over with a mild, huh. Then his eyes go cold, locked on the incoming ball. He drops low to shield the pup. The ball blasts down. Girls scream. The girl in yellow stammers over, asking if he's okay. A drop of blood hits the pavement. Someone yelps, asking if he's alright. Turns out a stray basketball got loose, and Taegu sheepishly owns it. The crew laughs it off as an accident, asking if anyone got hurt. Then a flat voice tells him to watch it. Huh. It's Geo, nose bleeding, clutching Twig'em. The pup almost got hit. The cocky one just cracks up, pointing. A double nosebleed, hilarious. His buddy claps a hand over his mouth. Knock it off, Minjong's watching. Suddenly all concerned, they wonder if he should see the nurse. He's fine, he says flatly. It's Twig'em who almost got hurt. They mumble a sorry, dogs are precious. Apology accepted, the kid smiles. He heads off with the pup, a buddy needling that Taegu went easy. Shut up. But the humiliation stings. He wants the kid's name and class, hates that attitude. Walking home, the kid admits he was terrified of losing Twig'em. Still, thanks to the pup, he finally saw a school and kids his age. It's kind of fun, he thinks. Could he have made friends here? A voice booms, hey friend. Geo turns, lost. Taegu slings an arm over him, all sorry about earlier. Friend? Same grade, the guy figures, makes them buddies. He felt bad just apologizing for the ball, so he'll buy the kid bread. Bread. The magic word, and his eyes light right up. Walked off arm in arm, he can't believe it. Bread? Really? Yeah, dude, first thing he asks. Anything for Twig'em too? Of course, everything. Turns out he beaned him showing off for some girls. Now it's plenty of bread. Then a boot comes flying at his face. The kick lands clean and drops him. Curled around the pup, he hears them laughing. He fell for it. Followed them for bread, they howl. The kid lifts his head, dead-eyed. The three sneer down, wondering out loud if he's a little slow. No bread in that courtyard, just a whole crew and a knuckle sandwich. The crew has Geo boxed in, jeering what a pathetic loser he is. Taegu looms over him, hand raised. Who does he think he is? The protagonist just blinks up, lost, acting big about what? A finger in his face. One punch and he'd bawl on the floor. The crew cackles. One low kick would snap his leg, they sneer. Palm to his face, Twig'em hugged close, he sighs. He thought this was a hangout, so he stands, pup in his arms, and offers to leave if he's bothering them. No dice. One of them blocks his path. Going somewhere? The kid's stare goes flat and cold. Move, he tells them. Twig'em's scared. The green shirt thug swings at the pup. How dare a dog bark at people? Geo's hand snaps out. The thug goes airborne, blood spraying. The crew gapes at their buddy laid out cold. Why's he on the ground? Taegu's eyes bug out. One lazy swing and he flew. The rest snap out of it and rush him, roaring what he just did. They close in, demanding answers. The kid just stares back, ice cold. Deep in his chest, the red core flares awake. Then the first punk goes airborne. A kick folds the next one in half. He's already on Taegu, fist locked in his collar. The punch lands flush, red hair whipping back. Taegu skids across the courtyard. Then he's pinned to the brick by one hand, the wall splintering. Flatly, the kid reminds them he said stop. Twig'em cowers behind him. The crew gapes. He just put someone through a wall. They scream it now. Freak! Monster! Scrambling back. No way he cracked solid brick. But there it is. Taegu does the math. One clean hit and something snaps. It finally hits him. He picked the worst possible target, so he drops into a bow, begging, swearing he's done. Then he sells out his crew, shoving a photo forward. See, he's got a dog too. Holding the pup, Geo softens. Maybe a dog owner can't be all bad. Across the lot, Taegu kneels, shoving the dog photo up as proof. Then the kid's eyes go hollow. That power left him starving. Suddenly hungry, Taegu sweats. Of all the times for this, the bully reads it as a shakedown, a sly freeloader angling for food. Meanwhile, Heiji sits alone at her desk, deep in thought. Back at the store, the protagonist beams and digs in. He tears through it, crumbs flying, while Taegu watches and seethes. He shares a bite with the pup, delighted by the strawberry bits. Insanely strong, yet a total dork. The bully can't read him. One punch sent a guy flying. A retired pro boxer maybe? Cracking a wall with a body. He's never seen the like. So he caves and dials for backup, whispering down the line. On the other end lounges Na Young Chol, 20, deep in a card game. Hand over his mouth, the redhead begs the gangster to bail him out. Young Chol scoffs. Taegu got beaten up by some punk? Half in tears, the kid swears it's his one and only favor. He just needs muscle against the guy who's good with his fists. The gangster laughs. How good could the punk even be? Bored anyway, he says he'll swing by, business near the school. Phone to his ear, the bully grins wide. The transfer kid is as good as dead. A bag of fried chicken comes out. Want some? Gio offers it over, saying he felt bad eating alone. The kid just blinks. Recovering, Taegu plays nice. Take it all, bread and drinks too. The kid lights up. Back at the store, the kid feeds his pup, the bully baffled he hit so hard. Twigum wolfs the little sausage down, eyes sparkling. Then Gio eyes his hand. Hurt on that wall, now perfectly fine. The bully does the math. Strength that launches people, wounds that close in minutes. He looks up heart mutants. Rarer than a sliver of people. Surely not. Then he just blurts it. Are you a heart mutant? Gio nearly chokes on a laugh. Hunched over coughing, the kid swears he isn't. A furious voice says it's obvious now. Taegu's hand flies to his mouth. A heart mutant in the flesh. Then it hits him. If that's true, isn't this dangerous? One of his called-in goons starts sweating. What if they get wrecked too? Word ripples down the crew. That kid's a heart mutant? Phone to his ear, the redhead stammers he had no idea the guy was this scary. On the line, young Chol perks right up. Even better, make sure the punk can't leave. A shaky understood. Meanwhile, the protagonist looks up, dead calm. Done eating, time to go. That snaps him awake. Already? There's still lunch break left. Eyes shut, crumbs on his cheek, the kid says he needs to head home. The redhead's mind races. Stall him until backup arrives. So he blurts it. Forget class, let's hang out somewhere. The stall works. At a neon arcade now, Gio gawks at the place. Blushing, the protagonist grins. He never knew places like this existed. Wandering deeper with the pup, the kid drinks it all in. Everything's new. A claw machine stops him cold. Those plushies match the keychain on Heiji's bag. First time seeing a claw machine. Taegu wonders what this guy's life has been. He feeds in a coin and offers a turn, then grabs it himself. You just steer the claw and grab a doll. Gio gawks at the thing moving. The claw clamps down and snags the purple plushie. He cradles it, thrilled to have the same doll as Heiji, Taegu smirking behind him. So this is an arcade, the kid marvels. The redhead grins. He's totally hooked. Then he points down a row of booths. Bet you've never done coin karaoke. Inside a booth, pup on his lap, the kid picks a song. He doesn't know any songs. Taegu waves it off. Sing anything, it's just guys. What comes up is a kiddie tune about holding mom's hand and cotton candy. He belts it dead serious. Taegu can't believe anyone sings a baby song. Am I not supposed to? The kid asks quietly. It's the only song he knows. His mom taught it before they took him at 7 and he learned no others. Taken at 7, no normal life. Something in Taegu's smug face starts to falter. He just stares, wondering what this guy is. Are heart mutants all like this? Then Gio's story sinks in and the big redhead tears up. He shoves a wad of won at the kid. Nobody should live like that. Mind made up, the bully swears he'll show him a whole new world. First stop, a rhythm machine. Somebody screaming hit faster. At the claw game, Taegu yells no cheating. Gio swears that's how you play. The dance pad. The redhead huffing, the boy stomping away. He razzes the kid for being hopeless at it. Gio just laughs. It's hard. Funny part, the bully's wrecked while the kid's still fresh. Best place he's ever been, says the boy. Told you so, the redhead grins. Out on the street, the bully softens, then goes, huh. Phone buzzing. He grins. You little punk. Anyway, who's calling this late? A voice tears through the speaker. Answer your phone, you piece of trash. It's young Chol. Taegu was supposed to stall the kid for a beating and forgot. 4 cutesy photo booth shots in. He's the idiot here. Taegu slings an arm around him, all buddy-buddy. The protagonist protagonist dead-eyed with the puppy. From above, the two just stand there, the crew waiting. Then a rougher voice cuts in, demanding to know what the hell this is. And the red-haired bully folds in half, begging the man's forgiveness. These aren't classmates, they're real thugs. The one with a bat snaps, is he being screwed? Taegu swears all three of them. None of this is the kid's fault. Someone marvels the puppy is the only family the boys got. That lands hard. The bully buries his face, muttering how sad that is. Up comes a phone. His own dog B, 17. The rainbow bridge looming. Just picturing the old mutt gone, the thug tears up. Then he confesses he nearly killed his own buddies over his dog. Mind made up, this was never about the kid. It's about the dog. But the older thugs aren't crying along. One of them hauls Taegu off the ground, and he just glares back. A fist closes in his hair. Young Chol leans in. Does he look like he's joking? A voice cuts in, cold and flat. Where's the mutant? Yesterday it was arcades and karaoke. Tonight the real muscle showed up. Young Chol's crew pins Taegu, bats out, asking if he's hard of hearing. The boss sneers down at him. All this just to bag one freak. Taegu begs it's a misunderstanding, swears he was with the guy all day. If he were really a mutant, he'd have felt something off. Just a pathetic nerd, he insists. Sorry you came out for nothing. So there's no mutant, the gangster drawls, mock disappointed. He crouches close, asking if Taegu's sore about getting yelled at. Then he lights a cigarette. With this brat, lying's written all over his face. He wants the real reason the story suddenly flipped. Mutants made the world dangerous, he says. This much keeps everyone clean. Then he laughs it off. Don't tell me you were worried about us. Taegu chokes out a strangled no, the words dying in his throat. The boss flicks up 5 fingers. 500. That's the price on the kid. Young Chol lays out the deal. Hand the kid to the mutant boss, pocket 500. That stops Taegu cold. This is straight up human trafficking, isn't it? Lately, mutants keep vanishing, snatched up, labs and the government quietly paying for them. He always wrote it off as gossip, never figured his own senior would actually do it. So Taegu scrambles to cover, begging him to believe the kid is nothing special. A boot cuts him off mid-plea, snapping his head sideways. The kick sends him flying. Doubled over, blood on his teeth, he can barely drag in a breath. Young Chol looms over him, fist clenched. He's done letting this slide. A boot stomps down as Taegu curls up, the senior snarling that he's had enough. Then he barks at his crew. What are they waiting for? Beat it out of him. The gang piles on, boots raining down on Taegu where he's curled up. Each blow lands and he just grits through it, eyes shut tight. He begs them to stop, but the crew only jeers, egging each other on. He screams at them to stop. They just mock him right back. Then the senior rounds on them, mock outraged. Who let first years rough up their own friend? The crew bolts, blurting sorry, and leaves the kid behind. Hey, Joe Taegu, the senior says, fisting his hair. The kid stammers a terrified yes. Crouched and smoking, Young Chul plays big brother. Gym boys don't get beaten up. Back then, those thugs seemed loyal, tough, cool. He'd wanted to be just like them. One older punk wrote him off as nothing. Now he's face down and bloodied, saying nothing. Young Chul swears the kid is lying. He crouches over him, almost impressed. Real loyalty. Sell a mutant to a broker solo and you barely clear a few hundred. Then he calls for the chains. You wanted to live cool, didn't you? Chain winding round his fist. Real money, no shame. Chained fists out, grinning, he offers Taegu a deal. Cool lives, both of them. Bloodied, the kid lifts his head. Sorry, but no. Ringed by masked thugs, he flips it. Right now, you look real uncool. What did I just say? Young Chol growls, coming down on him again. Young Chol sneers down at him. So Taegu's the little screw-up who got mouthy. Hands flying up, the redhead babbles apologies, swearing he just misspoke. A chain-wrapped fist winds back. Just die already. The punch drops, and a hand snatches it clean out of the air. He holds the fist in place, studying the chain. Pinky thick, welded, rough-edged. Beat someone with that, the kid notes flatly, and the wounds last a long time. The crew tenses up. What even is this kid? He came to find his friend, he says. The guy was taking too long. Choking it out, Taegu warns him to run. He knows these guys. He called them in. He even told them the protagonist's a heart mutant. Gio just asks why. Taegu clenches his teeth because he was furious about getting hit. Then, smaller, he's sorry. That's not the why he meant. Why is he letting them beat him with this? The boss grins. The redhead freezes on the question. Then a bat cracks across the back of Gio's skull. Bats come down and they put the kid on the ground. Twigum barks like mad as the blows keep landing. The lead thug crouches over him. So you're the heart mutant. A bloodied hand lies still on the pavement. Then the thug stops mid-taunt. Something's off. The next thing he knows, a fist folds him in half. Gio is back on his feet, swinging. One clean hit drops the lead thug flat. He just stands there, head bowed, dead calm. The rest close in, screaming to beat him to death. The whole crew piles on at once. Pipes swing and one of them gets launched clear. Now it's the thugs groaning, mouths bleeding. Cold and methodical, the protagonist works through them. Then he stomps the last one into the ground. A masked thug cracks a bat across his skull, blood spraying. He's already dropping low, while the guy winds up for another swing. Then the kid counters and the thug goes flying. Two more freak out. How's he that strong? Is he even human? Calm as ever, Gio just grabs the next one by the throat. Right then, their top-knot boss, Na Young Chul, charges in with a knife. He buries it in the kid's side. Human or not, you die all the same. The gangster twists the blade deeper, sneering that it has to hurt like hell. Head down, the boy coughs up a mouthful of blood. So Young Chul goes berserk, stabbing over and over, screaming for the monster to die. Then a hand clamps down and stops the blade cold. The gangster's grin freezes, confusion creeping in. Dead calm, Gio tells him that's enough. He rips the knife free and the empty hand recoils, trembling. Young Chul backs away, asking what kind of heart lets a guy get stabbed and stay fine. The kid blinks, knife in hand. Who, me? A tattooed thug leans over him, sneering that he doesn't need to know. Then it clicks for the crew, a heart mutant, and they scatter. Too late. The red eye flares and he's already moving. Now they all know exactly what he is, and none of them get to run. Twigum picks now to bark, cheerful, while grown men fall apart. Seconds later, the whole gang is laid out around him. Then Taegu chokes out his name from the ground. Frantic about the stab wound, he begs Gio to hold on, he'll call for help. The protagonist just stands there, hand on his chest. It's fine, he's okay. Taegu gapes up at him. Huh? The wound. It's just gone. No blood, no gash, like it never happened. Standing over the wreckage, the boy quietly says he's sorry. Young Chul rains it down on Taegu. Should have just died. Should have picked better friends. The protagonist's head snaps up at that. Sold out by his own friend? Flat on the pavement. Taegu owns it. He sold the kid out. With that crew, he felt fine. Thought it was cool. Just another thug, really. A hand reaches down, holding out a folded white pad. You've got a nosebleed, he says. Here. Taegu stares. He's handing him this to wipe the blood? Then it clicks. A puppy pee pad, the bastard. Still, better wipe up before the next hit. Gio just smiles. The guilt means Taegu did see him as a friend. That's enough. The pad presses to his bloody face. Not a word. Then the dam breaks. The kid wipes him clean as he sobs. Taegu lunges into a sobbing hug, bawling his name. Crew strewn out cold around them, he blubbers the kid's seriously too cool. On his knees, Young Chul begs Gio to let him go. He swears he'll never breathe a word about the mutant. Then Taegu looms over the boss, grinning. He kicks him square in the face. Mid-stomp, he tells Gio the guy's pure scum, bloated like a hog. Young Chul gags out a plea to wait, but Taegu knew it was all talk. Cradling Twigum, Gio notes they were supposed to be friends. Taegu turns to him. Hand them to the cops or beat them quiet first. Wait, the boss scrambles to stop them, suddenly cooperative. Hands clasped, he begs. He'll stay quiet, just don't call the cops. Right then, a polite voice cuts in. Two officers from the Seodam substation after a neighbor's report. The battered crew look up in dread. Taegu lights up and rushes them. Perfect timing, he was about to call. He cheerfully rats the gang out. These creeps sell people. The thugs scramble to sell them back. Hit the hideout, the evidence is there. They're grown men, real criminals, one begs. Lock them up. The gang wails as the cops start working them, while Gio and Taegu just watch. Sprawled on the pavement, Young Chul cries for anyone to help. Now he plays victim. Broken bones, a stabbed leg. The kid just stares. Thank God you're here, he bawls. That bastard beat us half to death. That cracks Taegu. He blows up. Who beat who here? They were the ones trying to grab Geo, he notes. Look at him, not a scratch. Youngchul jabs while we're the hurt ones. The whole crew groans across the pavement, all whining they took the beating. Worn out, the officers wave it down, calm it, sort it at the station. Then the gangster plays his card, pointing. More importantly, that guy's a heart mutant. Isn't there a mutant special act for this? He presses. The cops stir. Both turn on him now. You sure you're a heart mutant? One asks, wanting proof. Cornered, twig him in his arms, Geo goes quiet. He has nothing like that. An unregistered heart mutant, the cop snaps. That violates the mutant special act. They'll register him first. State your name and your ability. Identity, registration. Geo just stares, the words landing wrong. If the lab finds his file, he's done. He only just lost the skull. Register and they track him down. The officer reaches out. Sir, cooperate. Then a schoolgirl barrels in, yelling at them to hold on. It's Heiji, out of breath, forcing a bright hello. The officers just blink. And who are you? She thrusts out her phone, a call from my sister, begging them to take it. Scowling, he lifts it to his ear and answers. On the line, Superintendent Song Hai-in, head of the mutant special team. The officer snaps to a rigid salute. Officer Han Suk-jin, Sodam substation, ma'am. Her orders are flat. It's attempted kidnapping. The mutant's their witness. Release him. She'll take the heat as team leader. He barks back, yes ma'am, right away. Then he barks at his men. Cuff the thugs, let the other two walk. The gang loses it as they're hauled up. They're the ones who got beaten. Pinned face down, Youngchul demands to know who on that phone ordered this. And who the hell is that girl? Flashing a peace sign at her phone. Twig him tucked in his arm, Geo turns to Heiji asking what's happening. She shrugs. She saw him heading to school ringed by creeps, so she followed. Creeps meaning Taegu, who sits there and sheepishly agrees. One look at the swollen face and Geo explains. Thugs beat him senseless. Taegu freezes. That's Song Heiji, the school goddess, pegging him as a creep. He waves it off, then breaks. The lucky loner has a friend like her. Geo turns to the cuffed gangster. More to the point, who were you selling me to? Then the dread question, low and tight. Was it Hermes Lab? Youngchul's never heard of it. They were just handing him to a local broker. From the squad car, he spills it. Some brokers deal only in heart mutants. Dead serious, the kid wants to meet those brokers himself. Across town, the top-knot thug sits hunched and cornered at a desk. Back with the trio, Heiji nearly drops her milk. No way. Over cup noodles, she warns it's way too dangerous. Those brokers are psychos. Her cop sister told her. The brokers hunt mutants, and half are mutants themselves. Crumbs on his face, the kid grins. Now he wants to meet them more. She presses. Why is he so obsessed with this broker? Finger to his cheek? Well, he was thinking. Maybe through them he could finally track down his friends. Taegu rears up, offended. He said he had no friends. Not out here. Back in the lab, the ones he lived with. Life in there was nothing but experiments and torture every single day. Then one day they hauled him off somewhere new. Terrified. Bracing for fresh agony, he's dragged in, and the place they threw him into. The room they threw him into was wall-to-wall swords, and the swords are floating in midair. They'll stab him with those, over and over. He's terrified, but the guards behind him bark at him to get in, and they scare him too. Inside, he's not alone. Other lab kids, each with a power, one raising ice. One of them rears back and swings a blade straight down at him. A sword punches clean through his skull. Then the ice swallows him whole, freezing him mid-scream. The sword kid watches the skull-faced boy shatter the ice and claw back out. The others lose it, yelling at the psycho, asking if that thing is even human. One snaps back, pointing at the lab gown. He's a test subject, same as them. The skull-faced boy just stares, stunned. Wait. What? A room full of kids in lab gowns crowds in, gawking at the living skeleton. He curls up and hides his skull, begging them not to look at his face. A voice tells him to relax. He looks fine, just skeletal because he's a mutant. Hands cradle his bare skull. Scary, right? First class? He barely manages a yeah. The lab kids crowd in with names. Sorry for the skeleton jokes, Hyung. They ask his name. His first friends ever. That place pooled test subject kids from many labs to teach them. Everyone a heart mutant. Maybe that's why they clicked fast. Class ran only a few times a year. Crumbs on his face, his chewing slows. Taegu blubbers into his sleeve. Geo, what kind of life is that? Hyeji softens and asks, so where are they now? The day they broke out, guards chasing, they scattered. That's why he hunts the broker. After the split, the pipeline could have grabbed them. Over the snacks, Heiji swears she'll help him find them. And Taegu's in too. Bandaged nose and a grin, he flashes a phone. Young Chol's broker's number inside. And there's the thread. The broker meets at 7, where he'd be sold off tonight. 7 o'clock. Gio realizes the handoff is happening right now. Damn it. Meanwhile, across town, dark sedans sit outside a quiet warehouse. Inside, a whole crew swarms one hooded man, screaming to stab him dead. Knives flash, hoods everywhere, and a single blade carves through the middle. A thin sliver of metal rests in his palm, then stretches into a sword. Swing it wrong, he says, and it won't cut a thing. It cuts plenty. Bodies drop, blood sprays, floor goes red. One thug panics and levels a gun. Knives won't work on this monster. He barely gets out kill him before the blade splits gun and shooter both. Used right, he points out, it slices clean through steel. This is his heart mutation, the heart of the sword. Crouched among the corpses, the swordsman tells them to do better next time. Then his phone buzzes, and Lee Chae-won wonders who's texting now. 2 new messages. Somebody caught a mutant and wants to sell it today. A new customer. Gio peeks around the corner into the alley he was sent to find. Dead quiet. 2 industrial buildings, a sliver of sunset above. The meeting spot. He's early. 30 minutes before the broker shows. A broker who traffics heart mutants, maybe one himself. Right beside him, Heiji frets, asking if he's really doing this. The schoolgirl warns him, these people hunt mutants, and some are mutants too. So they've met plenty, he figures, maybe enough to point him to his friends. Still uneasy, she gets the same line. Today he only watches from a distance. That's what he told her, the kid thinks, crouched alone in the lot. But for the ones selling people like him, he could just grab the broker outright. He pulls a heavy wrench from the rubble in case it comes to a fight. No rushing in blind, the protagonist reminds himself. Read the ability first. Then his head snaps around, wrench still in his grip. A grown blade slams down and pins Gio flat. He screams. Floored and staring up, he can barely process the blade that came from nowhere. He clocks the figure stalking up the alley. A hooded man looms over him, pale-faced, and the question lands flat. Are you a cop? Gio tenses, the thought flickering through, the broker? The hooded man eyes the wrench. Plain steel, no mutant power, just a human. Just a human means easy to catch. His hand flattens on the concrete, ready to spring. Then Chae-won launches, low and fast. His strike rockets in, all his weight behind it. No time to react, that's the whole idea. Gio's eye snaps wide. Huh? The silver-haired man just smirks, hand out. Nice to meet you. I'm Lee Chae-won. At the name, the kid goes dead still. That name. Blade humming, the broker can't place it. How does this guy know my name? One swing answers it. Gio tumbles back, blood trailing behind him. Another body hits the dirt while the broker drags his blade behind him. Bloodied and gritting through it, the man drags himself back up. His strength is gone. The broker sliced clean through his tendons. A limp hand, a gashed back, a slashed leg. Every cut crippling. No street thug, he realizes. The swordsmanship is monstrous. The rest of the crew breaks and runs, screaming for everyone to flee, but a memory surfaces. A skull-faced boy in restraints. Back in the lab days, a kid in patient garb carves a blade clean through stone. A young Chae-won grins through the rubble, swearing he'll clear the way. Back in the present, the broker demands how he knew his name. Tendons cut and all, the man rises. A heart mutant, Chae-won wonders? Then he throws his arms wide. It's me, Kim Ji-oh, the skeleton. The broker just stares, the name landing like a ghost. Then it clicks. The skeleton kid from the lab. The boy lights up. You're alive, Chae-won. Long time no see. The broker freezes, pointing. Wait, you're really Kim Ji-oh? Hand to his chest, beaming. The classmate who pieced himself back together. He runs in, arms wide. Below, blades slide from Chae-won's hands. The blade rips across his face. Blood sprays, he snaps backward. He catches the steel barehanded, teeth clenched. You didn't recognize me? Why? Watching the cut knit shut, Chae-won smirks. Guess you really are Kim Ji-oh. He thrusts the healing wound forward. See, look at this. The broker doesn't buy it. He lunges, sword leading. Ji-oh throws himself clear as the blade sweeps past. The arc catches him and sends him sprawling. A stunned what slips out. Slumped on the dirt, he chokes it out. Why are you attacking me? The broker levels the blade, cold. You should know that better than anyone. Fresh gashes tear across him as he guards up. Chae-won's still too fast. His fist stays clenched. The dirt around them is already soaked red. Then the broker lunges back in, blade leading. The sword runs clean through his forearm. The fist doesn't waver. Impaled and bored, Gio just stares him down. Chaewon sneers. A punch won't do much against a man holding a blade. The kid answers flat. He knows exactly how good he is with the sword. Then a bare hand clamps down on the steel. The broker freezes, not sure what he's even looking at. Both hands snap shut on the sword arm and lock it cold. His eyes blow wide. This isn't going how he planned. Then a knee drives up and sends him flying back. Slumped against the pipes, Chaewon admits the scrawny runt grew into something. He asks the real question. Fight like this, so why did he ever run? Across the lot, Gio just echoes it back, genuinely lost. He ran away? Yeah, the broker says. Back the day they all broke out of the lab. Flash to the escape. Guards opening fire. The kids dropping one by one. Young Chaewon, scarred and pinned, screams for iron. Throw him that pipe. The pipe lay right there, within the skull-faced kid's reach. And he just took off on his own, the broker spits. A flash of Gio bolting alone, gown soaked red, leaving them behind. Back in the present, the protagonist barely gets a sound out. There was no choice. Stay, and every last one of them dies. The swordsman isn't buying it. Just one word. Coward. His palm flattens on a rusted beam, and the iron answers. Rust bleeds out of the framework, streaming toward his hand. He already knows that regeneration inside and out, he says. Blow Gio to pieces and he's slow to recover, and the kid goes cold. Across the wrecked floor, the broker dares him to try running now. Both arms snap up to catch the falling blades. The metal punches clean through his guard and he just glares back. A blast flings him airborne, blood trailing, while Chaewon lines up the real strike. Outside the cloud, Heiji and Taegu watch it all come apart. She wants to call the cops. The redhead says check on him first. Then she calls his name into the settling dust. Locked in close, Chaewon notes the healing is way faster than the lab days. The kid finally speaks. This is a misunderstanding. He never ran. At the breakout he stayed to fight. Tonight he came only to free captured friends. Something ugly creeps over the broker's grin. All of it? A misunderstanding? Outside, voices drift in. Someone's in there, and isn't he a mutant? The protagonist's eyes go wide at one word. People. Over the broken ground, two hands reach for each other. Too much of a scene, Chaewon figures. They'll talk more at his hideout. A lot has happened since then, the broker smirks. He's got plenty to tell. Gio just stares. The old friend he came looking for. Right there. Chaewon feels different now. Nothing like the kid he remembers. Back in the lab class, the boy was bright and warm, proudly sharing food he'd made. A broker with a hideout. Gio can't fathom what turned him into this. His grip tightens on the blade, a sliver of metal honed razor sharp. The kid's eyes go wide. The edge is already coming, and the deadly blade comes down, slicing a sandwich, bacon and tomato everywhere. Bandana on, Chaewon is just dicing veggies, his deadly sword now a kitchen knife. Jacket still torn up, Gio just gapes and blurts out what he's doing. The dreaded hideout is a kitchen, and Chaewon plates 3 burgers at once. Beaming, he holds the burger out. Gio can only wonder what happened to him. Customers swoon as Chaewon holds up a burger like a trophy. Gio just stares, drowning in question marks. The deadly broker's secret hideout turns out to be a burger joint. The man who carves steel ties on an apron instead. Then he flops onto a bench, deadpan. This is where he works, a normal job, and he razzes Gio for having none. Anyway, who are the 2 glaring over his shoulder? The protagonist names them. Hyeji, who took him in, and Taegu, met by chance. A friend, the broker mutters, almost sour. Jobless, but he made friends. Hyeji insists Gio's had it rough. Taegu nearly lunges over the counter. Waving them off, the kid swears Chaewon's fine, and they grudgingly take a table. Settled across from him, the broker gets to it. He didn't run that day. Head low, Gio says back then there was a bomb, right at the spot where they tried to escape. The flashback opens on armed guards closing in, the kids pinned in rubble. Pinned there, Chaewon swears he heard it clear, a time bomb ticking down. The lab tested explosives on them so often he knew that hiss by heart. Cornered, they meant to drop the building and bury the kids alive. The strongest might walk away, but the weak ones were dead for sure. So the skeleton scooped up every bomb he could carry and bolted. Then he hugged the whole pile to his chest as it blew. Cradling a mug now, he figures the blast flung him deep into the woods. Gio cuts in. He ran back, found nobody, and figured they'd all gotten out. A bomb. The The broker goes still, remembering a far-off blast that day. He asks if Geo really hauled it alone. Yeah, the kid shrugs. He survives blasts. A bitter laugh, hand dragging down his face. And he's supposed to buy that? The kid swears it's true. Too many bombs, no time to explain. A tear slips past his hand. Quietly, the broker says he believes him. The boy blinks, thrown. After all that, the guy just takes his word. Then steel hisses out of his palm, a blade rising in the red glow. Chaewon plates a fresh burger, muttering he knew it would end like this. Geo gapes at the loaded tray. Burger, fries, drink, really all for him? He tears in, thrilled. Then fangirls swarm, begging the manager for a photo, and the deadly broker just leans in for the selfie, dog ears and all. Arms crossed, he finally goes still and says he's sorry. He almost cut him down without listening. Geo waves it off, barely stung. The kid's already mid-bite, asking if he eats like this every single day. Chaewon just smiles and tells him to have more if it's not enough. Then he points to the badge. Store manager, after all. Geo marvels that he passes for a totally normal guy. Chaewon shrugs. Nothing to it, he says. Anyone could pass. Want a job here? He'll even pull rank for a whole 151 over minimum. The kid's floored. Then a hand shoots up. Wait, it's Geo, pointing across the table. Why was he ever a broker? He isn't done. How could he work for the lab that tortured them? So he's really a broker then? Chaewon cuts him off flat. It's an act. Scratching his head, the silver-haired one says he only played the part. It draws out the one snatching mutants so he can catch them. All to wipe those filthy animals off the map. Wait, really? The protagonist gapes. Chaewon just nods, of course. Relief floods him. He was scared his old friend really turned broker. So he works the grill and goes undercover? Someone's got to do it. The kid lights up and throws him a thumbs up. Awesome. He means it too. Chaewon, ears red, mutters he knows, you idiot. Glad to hear it, he grins. Need help? Just say the word. He came to find out how their scattered friends are doing, and the offer stands. That lands. Chaewon freezes, something shifting behind his eyes. Then he grins huge, fist hitting the table. He pitches a broker he needs gone. Easy work with that power. Corner the guy and they might trace where the others scattered. Geo's in. Apron on, Chaewon holds out a fist. The kid would help a lot. Two fists knocked together. Anytime. Shop slammed, so he heads in. He'll call with the plan. Outside, Geo thanks the two for waiting. He finally saw an old friend. The redhead isn't sold. 3 years is long. The guy could be feeding him lies. Heiji admits the trafficker bit scared her and asks if he's okay. He just smiles. It's fine. Back in the lab, the same kid grinned and offered the same fist. Unchanged. But how's he supposed to message you with no phone? Look, Geo grins, flashing a phone. Na Young Chols, Taegu realizes. Somewhere else, feet pound pavement. Don't let him escape. A blonde man bolts, a pack on his heels. Corner him in the alley. Snarling at them to back off, he throws a hand. Gold light erupts. Golden oil whips across the lot, and the suits scatter. One of them gapes. The kid they hit is still breathing. A fist cracks his jaw, snapping his head sideways. A red-eyed enforcer looms over him, asking where he thinks he's going. The kid begs, swearing his heart is nothing special. A broker hauls him up by the hair, scoffing that this loser's a mutant. Not every mutant is strong, they laugh. Trash like him is basically human. Still, easy money. The lab pays $1 billion per head. The boy screams, pinned and helpless. Then a hooded stranger steps in. That's all they're offering? The brokers wheel on him, demanding to know who he is. One starts to ask how he got in, and blood sprays mid-sentence. Blade dripping, Chaewon smirks. Risk lives like this, the pay should be higher. The rest draw steel, screaming the freak's a mutant. Kill him. Outnumbered, the swordsman figures he'd better finish fast. A boot cracks down, and another thug folds. Hood up, the broker grins through the spray and picks off the rest. One gunman levels a pistol, daring him to move. Then a pale hand closes on a slab of dark steel. That gun in your fist, he points out, is made of metal too. At his core sits the heart of the sword, blades and barrels blooming from it. The trigger finger strains, but the steel won't budge. The gunman chokes out a strangled what? Gun dead in his hand. Right then, the barrel curls back toward his own face. Metal answers. A storm of black spikes tears outward. A wet shriek, and the last one drops. The silver-haired one rises over the yard, spines fanning off his arm. Next time, he tells the groaning pile, collapse somewhere without the rebar. But one battered kid drags himself up his leg, sobbing thank you for saving him. A grimy, blood-nosed mutant grins up at his savior, another heart mutant. He gushes thanks for the rescue from those thugs. A flat "shut up" cuts him off. The savior is Chae-won, phone to his ear, telling his boss he recovered the stolen mutant. The kid kneels at his feet. "Ship him straight to the lab," the broker says. It finally lands on him. "What does that even mean?" "He's no rescuer," the hood says coldly. "He's the broker selling you." Elsewhere, lab coats lie dead across a bloody floor. "Classic Lee Chae-won," a voice drawls. "A cut above the useless lab rats down here," the boss adds. "Reliable, efficient." Then Chae-won says there's one more thing to report. He's tracked down his old lab friend at last. The boss goes dead still. "Kim Ji-oh." "You promised any reward if I brought him in," the hood reminds him. "Still good?" A blood-flecked grin answers down the line. "Of course." Looking up with a thin smile, he says he'll hand his old friend over tomorrow. A blade comes down, slicing carrots clean. But behind the apron, the broker is already plotting how to take Gio. Luring him out won't be hard. The kid doesn't suspect a thing. The problem is, Gio's far stronger now than the skeleton he remembers. His regeneration's so sharp, he stitches himself back together even after losing limbs. Ordinary methods won't cut it. He decides to scout somewhere packed with iron, and after all that scheming, the man finishes a pot of curry. A girl in a wheelchair lights up. Curry, and her oppa's the best. Loaded with potatoes, he tells her, just how Chae-yun likes it. She bangs her spoon, calling him the best, the best. Crouching by the chair, the older brother promises to cook her anything she wants. She tugs at him to sit and eat with them. Not today, he says, somewhere he has to be. Her face falls. Really? Again? Save the leftovers, he promises. He'll be back to finish them all. Night settles over the apartment blocks. Up in the kitchen, she figures Gio wore himself out walking Twigum today. Between that and everything else, the poor guy must be running on empty. Meat and fruit beat fatigue, right? So Heiji gets cooking. Mind made up, the schoolgirl narrows her eyes. The result? Braised short ribs buried under tangerines and strawberries. Some ChatGPT knockoff swore the combo would taste amazing. The bot actually said go easy on the fruit. She gushes about it anyway. Flipping the pan, she wonders if maybe she's got a real talent for this. Then her sister texts, asking if she's eaten. Heiji raves about the fruit ribs. Sis answers with a puking rainbow sticker. Gross? The schoolgirl scoffs that Sis just doesn't get it, and saves her a plate anyway. Twigum in his lap, Gio's told to turn in early. Sis is out till dawn. He waves it off, but the girl can't tell what he's doing with that phone. The girl smiles. Is he really this happy just from seeing his friend today? Beaming with the pup licking his face, Gio says he really missed his friend. First time she's seen him this relaxed, Heiji notes, and he agrees. Chae-won, he calls him, a precious friend. Years back at the lab, a boy calls over to the skeleton sitting alone. Young Gio stalls, the bare skull glancing away. Curling up small, he mumbles he's just hanging out. Then an arm pops clean off, and Chae-won yelps over where it went. The kid shrinks back. A wound from days ago still hasn't healed. Chae-won just grins and reaches out a hand. No big deal, he says. Give me your arm, he tells him. The skeleton blinks, lost. Then a flourish, and the skull-faced kid's jaw drops. His arm, reforged into a gleaming blade, sparkles in his grip. Sick, right? Chae-won boasts, while the skeleton gawks at the thing. Right then, a bob-haired girl storms up, arms crossed. Bullying Gio again? Not bullying, he protests. A cool upgrade. The kid nods, his arm a sword. Eyes like stars. The bare skull just gushes. So cool. Heiji just blinks, totally lost, scratching her head. Cool, sure, if he says so. Chae-won jabs a fist out, scarred and grinning. Finally, a kid who recognizes real style. He turns the blade over in his bony hands, baffled, and asks what it even is. Real friends bump fists to prove their trust, he insists. Heiji just gags, so cringy. Their fists meet and the kid melts. Real friends now. Chae-won was the cool friend, the hero the kid once trailed everywhere, desperate to copy. I see, Heiji manages, lost on why he loved a blade getting shoved through his arm. Still, it is a relief, she decides, seeing him this happy over an old friend. She calls him to eat. He never helped. She's used to being alone. Down comes a steaming pot. Tonight it is sweet, savory, braised short ribs. His jaw drops, a stunned, what is this? He has never seen a home-cooked meal. Spatula raised, she beams it's her own special recipe. All he manages is, wow. Topped with strawberries and tangerines, no less. Nothing he can even compare to. A rib balanced on his tongue, the kid digs in. Thanks for the food. Munching away, the kid wolfs down a mouthful. Heiji leans over, asking how it tastes. Is it okay? Cheeks stuffed and red, he swears it's fantastic. The strawberries, the meat, the tangerines, every bite is heaven. Then he eyes Twig'em and asks if she can have some too. No, she tells him, feeding her just anything is dangerous. Crouching by the pup, she promises to whip her up something safe. He just keeps gushing, best thing he's ever tasted, thank you. Heiji laughs and offers to cook more for him later. Mouth crammed full, the boy beams a muffled thanks. Then his phone buzzes on the table and he stops. The screen reads broker, the very friend about to sell him out. He picks up and Chaewon's voice cracks through. Gio, help me! Alarmed, he asks what's wrong, and Chaewon spins it. The lab guys cornered him. The call lands, and one word cuts through it, the lab. Heiji tenses. If it's that lab, the one they kept him in, then a panicked voice begs him to come help, right now. An abandoned factory, the innermost building. Then the line dies. Chaewon's in danger, he says, and he has to go. Jaw set, the kid doesn't think twice. First, oddly, he apologizes for not finishing her short ribs. Not now, she cuts in. She wants to come along, too dangerous, he says. Stay put, back soon. The trail ends at a dead factory, all rust and shadow. Gio slips past a steel door. This the place? Dead quiet, but exactly where Chaewon pointed him. Then something stops him cold. Wait, the walls, the floor, every inch of it is iron. Pipes, plates, bolts, a steel floor. The whole place is one big trap. Too late, it sinks in. This whole place is Chaewon's turf. A spot like this and the broker got taken down? It makes no sense. Stay sharp, the protagonist tells himself. He can't get caught too. Somewhere out there Chaewon is captive, trembling in fear. Or so he pictures it. Then the metal floor answers. Curved blades rip up through the grating. A whole forest of steel erupts at once. Two of them punch clean through his chest. Blood sprays. Skewered down on one knee, the kid just grits his teeth. A sword. That power belongs to one person. Through the blades, a hooded figure crouches over him. What the hell? Grinning above the carnage, Chaewon welcomes his guest. Thanks for coming, Kim Gio. Spitting blood, the protagonist demands answers. You said you'd been captured. The broker answers cold. It's exactly as it looks. One blue eye blows wide as the truth lands, which means, sword swung up, the hood says it plain. You were tricked. Bloodied blade clenched in his fists, the kid grits his teeth and drags himself up. He lunges down at the hooded broker, knife first. Chaewon slips the strike easy and drops low. Then a sneaker cocks back. One brutal kick lands clean. It folds Gio in half, blood bursting from his mouth. Across the lot, the broker just crouches, patient, blade ready. Seeing his old friend today, he muses, felt really nice. 7 years he only knew Gio as a skeleton, but the voice gave him away. All that carefree laughing and chatting, he admits, reminded him of the old days. That's exactly why he lied, he says, voice flat. Blade dripping at his side, he comes clean. He really is a broker. His real work? Hunting down heart mutants and handing them straight to the lab. And he came for one reason, to hand his old friend back to the lab. A pale hand braces flat on the iron as blades crawl up beside it. Gio whips around. Another sword is already singing for his neck. He folds low, and the steel sweeps past where his head just was. Then Chaewon drops from above, hood up, blades swinging down to kill. This is nothing like their sparring, and the protagonist knows it at once. Right now, it isn't about subduing him anymore. It feels like the broker actually means to kill him. Lee Chaewon, you bastard, he spits, shoving off the metal plate. Are you really trying to haul me in? He demands. Snap out of it, he yells. He has no idea what's happening. At least explain yourself, the kid begs across the clash. The hooded face stays stone. No need, just surrender. Bloodied, Gio snarls it through gritted teeth. You bastard. Bloodied on the iron floor, Gio screams at him. Are you insane? He's still working with that lab. A criminal outfit, the kid spits. Pushing himself off the metal, he begs his old friend to wake up. Surging up off the ground, he calls Chaewon an idiot. But the broker just answers by dashing in across the steel. The kid's eyes flare red, gone ice cold. Pleading time is over. Spikes rip up from the floor and he twists through midair. Talking won't work, he figures, and charges the waiting broker. Chaewon reaches out, cold. Running away won't help him either. The whole iron floor erupts into a forest of blades. This place is overflowing with iron, the swordsman reminds him. A blade shoots up and skewers Gio in midair. You'll never escape. Damn it, the kid grits. The broker came completely prepared. It hits him then. The broker really means to ship him back to the lab. Bloodied, he roars. Does it mean nothing that he'd be dragged back to that hell? Sword raised over him, Chaewon answers cold. It doesn't matter. Fine, if that's how the kid wants to play it, he plants a kick clean into the broker's gut. A blade answers, opening him up, blood at his mouth. But the protagonist catches the next strike bare-handed, then cracks him across the skull, head snapping back. A hit like that, the broker notes, barely even counts. Years of lab torture, after all, left the kid resistant to pain. And his resurrection runs differently now. Cut him, he knits shut instantly, then counters in that opening, so the broker grins. In that case, time to change the game. Chaewon lunges, betting he can cut him down before he ever counters. His logic is simple. While the kid is busy regenerating, he can't strike back. Blades carve into him from every angle, blood spraying, and Gio's eyes go blank. The pain drags him back to a chained kid in a lab restraint suit. Steel clamps lock down around him with a heavy thud. Over the intercom, a flat voice announces regeneration test number 225. Then, a silver-haired boy in the same patient suit faces him and asks, "Kim Gio?" The skull-faced kid stares back, just as stunned. Lee Chaewon, a researcher, explains. Today they study how the resurrection heart heals under the sword heart's blade. The order lands, and Chaewon goes pale. They want him to attack Gio. Across the bloodstained floor, he snaps back. Cut him down? Right now? Are they insane? Then the boy loses it entirely. Screw that, he's not doing it, he's leaving. Electricity rips through his collar, locking his jaw shut as the current convulses him. The kid just eggs him on. Quit stalling and do it, he's fine. Chaewon calls him a lunatic. How could he cut his own friend? He already told him, it doesn't even hurt. Wrapped in live current, the broker chokes out he'd sooner just die. He fires back at the weakling. Drop the act and do what they say. Then he falters, thrown by something he didn't see coming. Gio looms over him, sneering a sword's nothing beside powers that grind people alive. Weak? The word lands and his eyes go cold. Yeah, weak, the kid grins. So finish it, he'll just heal. Blade up, the broker takes the bait. Let's see how weak he really is. For a beat, they just lock eyes, skull against scar. The sword rips across and blood sprays from his throat. Blood pouring down the skull, he wonders if he pushed it too far. Blades keep ripping the iron room as Chaewon snarls. Does it still not hurt? Skull cracked and dripping. The protagonist just rasps that it doesn't hurt at all. Blasted apart across the wall. Logged cold like lab data. Regeneration test 225 complete. Across from him, Chaewon is the one heaving for air. The skull only grins and parrots it back. It hurts, it hurts. Then it hits him. It barely hurts. A hand clamps down. Don't move. Chaewon whispers to play dumb. His blood smeared over the kid will fool the researchers. Gio stares horrified. The cut arm. He hurt himself too. Blade still in hand, Chaewon just grunts. Yeah, so shut up and don't get us caught. Gio protests he'd regenerate anyway. The broker snaps that his recovery is slow as hell. And besides, those lab bastards barely feed him enough blood to heal, calling him too dangerous. Then a warning. Don't pull that self-sacrifice act again. His smirk softens, and Chaewon mutters that stuff like that is embarrassing between friends. Back in the iron factory, Chaewon stares him down cold as Gio bares his teeth. He throws himself at the man, blood spraying. Why him, of all people? The broker's jaw sets hard. No answer coming. He hauls a blade overhead and swings it down. Then the strike jerks to a dead stop. Teeth clenched, a thought lands on Gio. Could it be? Chaewon's eye narrows. Cut up like this, the kid still holds back. Being spared like that stings the broker's pride. Done playing nice, he slams a palm flat to the iron floor. The kid turns to run, shouting he won't fight. Back off. The broker glares. Cut up this badly and still cracking jokes. Just give up, Chaewon tells him. He's going to the lab no matter what. The blade rises again and Gio stares up at it wide-eyed. Then the broker dangles the worst threat. Maybe he should go capture those friends first. A blade punches clean through the kid, blood spraying the iron floor. Bloodied, he tears free and charges, slamming the broker back. Chaewon just grins. Now the boy's finally looking at him properly. Those dogs must be precious, he sneers. Two ordinary high schoolers are easy to find. So if Kim Gio runs, Hae-ji and Tae-gu are the ones who pay. That does it. A fist cracks across the broker's jaw. The next punch rams straight into his teeth. Red eye glowing, the protagonist pins him down. Don't cross that line. Hae-ji and Tae-gu are his friends, and he won't have them touched. He wanted to hear the broker out to the end, because they're friends too. But the core in his chest flares flares, and something colder takes over. He's done caring about the reasons. From here on, he smashes Chaewon to pieces. Chaewon catches on too late. The kid bit his mouth and is drinking the blood. The stolen blood floods Gio's arm, the veins flaring red. It races through him, every cell feeding the resurrection heart. Fully topped off, the protagonist drops into a crouch, slick with blood. Eyes dead cold now, he's done pleading. The broker's stare blows wide. The arm he sliced off is whole again. Then he lunges and slams Chaewon down onto the iron. The broker skids across the metal, a hand clamped over his bleeding mouth. Curled up, he coughs blood, clutching his gut. 3 ribs cracked and his iron-laced body is supposed to shrug off hits. Gio looms over him. One more like that, Chaewon knows, is fatal. Too late. The fist crashes into his face. The broker flies back, sprawling across the iron floor. Gio blurs across the iron floor, too fast to track. A shadow drops over the broker, hand already reaching, no time to react. Then Gio grabs him and slams him into the iron. The broker hits the floor hard, the breath knocked clean out of him. He scrambles up, reeling. Where is this strength even coming from? All this from a few mouthfuls of his blood? Mind racing, Chaewon needs distance, needs to seize back the pace. So the floor erupts, a forest of blades shooting up around them. Gio tears straight through them without slowing. Is the kid reading where each blade will surface? No, impossible. He's tracking them with his own eyes, slipping past every one. Reflexes this brutal? And wasn't his power only resurrection? It wasn't just regeneration after all. The thought lands cold. Next to the skeleton days, Gio's strength and speed are a whole different league. At this rate, the broker realizes, he loses. He grits his teeth. He never wanted to pull this out, so he slams a palm to the floor, draining iron to the limit. The pull shreds his own blood vessels and organs, and his sword heart answers. The heart flares. The metal in him roars to life. Then it erupts, hundreds of blades blooming off his back. Decked in steel, he screams that no amount of regen breaks this many blades. The bladed monster lunges straight for him. The kid doesn't flinch. So what, he says. So what if he's bristling with swords? Then the protagonist charges in anyway, dead into the steel. A fist lands clean, and Chaewon folds, blood bursting from his mouth. Grinning through the blades, the boy tells him this barely stings. Flesh shredded, blades sunk into his chest, the red core flaring. He can take that much. What actually cuts deeper, the kid admits, is something else entirely. Back in the lab, blades tore through the children, throwing little bodies like rag dolls. A young Gio took the spikes through his arm, choking out a strangled groan. And there was Chaewon, collared on the floor, the one forced to swing those blades. Then the present slams back, blades screaming off the broker's arm as the kid endures. A fist crashes straight into the broker's face. The blow snaps his head sideways and the iron floor ripples from the impact. The whole steel hall warps outward, the two of them tiny at its center. Standing over the dazed broker, Gio says what hurts isn't the blades. It's a 10-year friend trying to ship him back to that lab. That hurts more. Then over the wreck of blades, the kid asks why he did it. He still doesn't get it and demands what the lab even promised him. Chaewon grits out that the lab is a nightmare. Nobody knows it better than Gio. The reply comes cold, saying that now, what does it even change? Slumped on the iron, Chaewon admits it. He serves the lab and meant to sell him. Gio stands over him, dead calm. There's no going back to friends now. His jaw clenches tight. The anger's right at the edge now. Chaewon grits through the blood, still not done. Then he swings. What's he even talking about? The fist cracks home. He doesn't get to decide that alone. Another blow rocks him. Don't hide behind it's all over. Fisting his collar, Gio demands the payoff. At least make him understand. Tears in his eyes now, he begs for even a lousy excuse. Faces almost touching, he pleads. If Chaewon ever counted him a friend, his one eye cracks open. After a long pause, yeah. Then, soft and far off, Chaewon just says it. Friend. A memory surfaces, the two of them as lab kids laughing. Even caged, the broker admits, they had their fun. Back in the present, bloodied and spent, he has no apology left. Then boots pour through the doorway, weapons swinging up. Gio's head snaps around, every nerve lit. Shielding up, the kid manages a ragged "Who are you?" A wall of masked troopers, rifles trained on him. 2 long rows box them in, one figure waiting in the gap. Heart mutant detected, and operative radios, requesting backup inside the factory. It hits hits the protagonist cold. No way, the lab. Subject escaped. Containment failed. The order crackles back. Suppress on sight. And he remembers. The child with the resurrection heart, shredded by gunfire. A full ring opens up. The command flat. Keep firing. Haul the target out. Sweat runs down a clenched face. One eye blown wide. Teeth grinding through the pain. A whole squad of armed troopers fans across the floor. Running looks like the only move. A battered hand clamps down on an iron rail. Knuckles locking tight. He yanks himself up by the bar, hauling clear in one pull. A massive curved blade sweeps a wide arc, scattering the troopers like chaff. Chaewon dashes straight into them, blade carving the air ahead of him. The massed troops break into a charge, barking that the mutant is getting away. Blade dragging sparks, the swordsman tears across the iron in pursuit. The swordsman ends up on one knee, ringed by leveled rifles and red visors. Muzzles swing up on every side. Escape route secured, surrounded front and back. Geo sucks in a ragged breath, sweat-soaked and grinning anyway. From above, one lone figure sits boxed in by dozens of leveled guns, completely surrounded. Leading them is Im Jin-wook of the police special assault team, cleared to shoot on resistance. An armed unit surrounds the place, block the exits, load live rounds, ready to fire. If they take him like this, he's going straight back to the lab. A scarred commander signals his men. The second firing prep is done. Then 3 figures step in, and the whole standoff freezes. A woman in a pinstripe suit announces she's taking control of the scene. The commander stares, recognizing her. "You are..." His soldiers go rigid, murmuring that leader Song Hai-in came in person. Right then he panics, screaming at everyone to cease fire and lower their weapons. The task force leader strides past them, heels clicking straight toward him. She studies the bloodied kid. "You must be Geo. Don't be afraid," she tells him. She heard the whole situation from her little sister. Then she says it plainly. She's Hyeji's older sister. Leaning in with a faint smile, the woman introduces herself as Song Hye-in. Hyeji's older sister? The bloodied kid can't even process that. She leans in close. "Don't worry, she'll handle this." Turning to the squad, she confirms the mutant incident, and the commander snaps a yes. Then she barks orders. Lock down civilians, call paramedics. But one man isn't having it. Im Jin-wook, the assault team captain, demands to know if her task force just ignores field protocol. His team got the report and secured the scene. Doesn't she know police duty law? Her aide answers for her. No, mutants outrank the scene. He flashes the warrant on Lee Chaewon and tells him to back off. The captain forces a grin. Seems there's a misunderstanding. He wasn't talking about that one. He means the kid in the black shirt. The CCTV outed him too. Not just the suspect, but an unregistered mutant. Unregistered mutants are civilians, the commander argues, so the kid's theirs to take. Then steel racks all around. Someone yells at them to hold fire. Too late. A wall of barrels swings dead level on the boy. G.O. stands frozen in the blades. A wall of rifles trained on him. Every gun in the room, every red dot, and he has no idea what to do. Then a single finger lifts, and the order to hold comes without a word. The assault team freezes mid-aim, fingers off their triggers. At the center of it stands Song Hai-in, scrap metal hanging in the air around her. The rifles tear from their hands in an instant. The team can barely process it. That's their own leader's mutant ability. Calm as ever, she tells them they clearly haven't grasped the situation. The commander rounds on her, demanding if she just turned her power on her own men. A flick of her finger answers him. His arm wrenches up on its own, and a scream rips out of him. Arms crossed, she lets him dangle there, not a hair out of place. This case, she says, is a special investigation into the Hermes lab. The name lands like a slap, and the commander barely chokes out a "what?" So she tells him to look around. Blood and scorch marks scar the floor, the wreck of their fight. The commander grits his teeth. Then those kids. The bloodied kid kneeling there is a high-risk mutant Hermes lab was hunting. Tangle with one of these, he warns, and your life's on the line. A masked trooper drags the beaten broker up. Geo reaches out, alarmed. Where are they taking Chaewon? Beside him, Hae-in calls the broker a wanted man. Arrest comes first. Restrained on his knees, Chaewon. Did he really do something that bad? She turns to the kid. You're Kim Geo, right? They need his testimony too. A private interview with the team leader. He goes blank. An interview, he thinks, with that scary person? That scary person. Song Hae-in, mutant cop running the whole task force. The interview room. The team leader leans back, smiling slow. Across the table, the boy stiffens. Why is she looking at him like like that. No need to be nervous, Geo. Just a few questions. Across the desk, Hei-in cuts to it. Her task force is hunting the Hermes lab. Hei-ji told her. Caged in the lab, escaped 3 years ago. He confirms it. She holds up a dossier of lab kid profiles and tells him he's still in the dark. Then the gut punch. Every one of his friends got recaptured by the lab. They never escaped, she explains. The lab let them run just to hunt them again. Worse, it used their weak spots or bribes to turn them into criminals. It clicks for Geo. Chae-won was one of them too. Cuffed and silent in his chair, the broker won't talk. All they have is the records. The door creaks open. The witness has arrived. Hei-in asks if she came willingly. He turns and freezes. He knows that face. It's Chae-yoon, Chae-won's little sister, wheeling in. She introduces herself. They briefed her outside. Down at the girls' level, Hei-in won't push, but needs the brother she saw. The girl hesitates, eyes down, gathering the nerve to speak. Then it spills out, trembling, all her fault. Her brother wasn't always like this, she says. He only changed because of her. Across the table, the girl trembles, terrified that talking means losing her brother again. Hei-in leans in with a knowing smile. Stay quiet, and he takes the fall alone. Wiping her tears, the wheelchair girl finally gives in. She can't let him carry it alone anymore. She'll tell the cop everything. Chae-won came back 3 years ago, she begins. Straight out of the lab, he ran home to his parents and her. But their parents were already gone. Only she was left, wrecked by an accident, helpless on her own. Still in his shock collar, the brother just stares. What on earth happened here? He pulls her into a hug and swears to protect her now, no matter what. After that, Chae-won worked himself raw day and night, but with no legal identity, the money never stretched far enough. Every won went to her medical bills, and her condition only worsened. Then one day, armed men in masks kicked the door in. The lab had come for him, and they dragged him off screaming. Then they drag off a girl too, and she screams for her brother. Chae-won loses it, hands off his sister or he'll kill them all. Then a man in a suit looms over him. Long time no see. A flashback. The suit crouches over the cuffed broker. They didn't come to catch him. No more cages, a name, a job, money, just help their work. The lab paid for it all. The bills, the house, his sister's school. Now his little sister sobs that he turned to crime because of her. Wrecked with guilt, she keeps apologizing. It's all her fault. All to afford the medicine keeping her alive. A man wheels the sobbing girl out. That's the whole story. But a hand sets down a file. One thing's clear. Hei-in lays it out cold. He's still meant to ship Geo back to that lab. She's right. The broker still faces punishment for a stack of other lab crimes. Then the superintendent offers one last phone call before that. The protagonist glances back, bloodied, no answer ready. Head bowed, the bloodied kid takes the offer. Yes, please. Later, he lifts a payphone receiver and holds the line in silence. On the other end, Chae-won goes quiet, so the kid presses. I know you picked up. The protagonist tells him flat out that he's heard the whole story now. Everything after the lab, the bit about his sister, why he tried to sell him out. Voice tightening, the kid asks why he never said any of it. On the other end, Chae-won lets out a short, hollow laugh. At the payphone, Geo just waits, receiver pressed close. The silence holds, and his voice cracks. Say something, why the hell did you do it? Teeth gritted, he spits it down the line. You traitorous bastard. He slams the receiver on the wall. At least make an excuse? Too ashamed to talk? Hunched over the phone. You sold out a friend, to drag me back to that hell. Head bowed under it, Chae-won takes the last words in silence. You're real trash. Then Geo goes ice cold. Spend the rest of your life rotting in regret. At last, the broker answers, quiet and worn. Yeah, I guess that's fair. Across town, the broker reaches for a payphone, alone. On the line, he's told the police will look after his sister. Geo calls him trash, sure, but says his sister's innocent. Pay for it, get lost, and make that burger again sometime. It was good. The receiver clicks back into the cradle. Head bowed, Chae-won barely gets out a thank you to Geo. On the other end, the bloodied boy hangs up too. Hei-in pockets her phone. More generous than she'd ever be. She'd have buried the guy. He really believed his other lab friends got out, living better lives than before. But he was wrong. The lab still has them, used however they please. He wants them out, and asks to help do it. A faint smile, and she sets the phone down. They'd take the help, she says, but can he really handle this? Fist clenched, he answers. He's not that weak skeleton anymore. Now there's only the vow. Save his friends and tear that lab apart. Night settles over the city, quiet apartment blocks glowing. Then someone bursts in, yelling for Song Hae-ji. Her big sister tackle hugs her, gushing about how she was missed. Hae-ji squirms and begs her to stop. The superintendent just coos. Watching from the side, Gio realizes she's a whole different person at home. He'd pegged her as the scary type. Turns out she's a softie. Mid-cuddle, she asks if he's alright. She heard about his friend. Ah, that friend. The kid scratches his head, a little awkward. It's fine, he tells her. Sis handled everything. That's a relief, she murmurs, still nuzzling her sister. Then she offers him the leftover galbi jim and his face lights up. He nods like crazy. Until a text lands. Made with strawberries and oysters. She proudly hauls out a steaming pot, oysters and strawberries bobbing inside. Gio lifts an oyster on his chopsticks, baffled what it's doing here. Hae-ji rounds on her. Who taught you this? The superintendent blames a slip. Beaming, Hae-ji shows off her phone. A chatbot wrote the recipe. The critic eyes the fruit, asking if the bot dared mock a human. Verdict? The fruit drowns it in soggy waste. Not edible. The schoolgirl shrinks a little, admitting she tweaked the recipe. The bot swore vitamin C beats fatigue. She wanted her sister energized. That lands hard. The older sister freezes, the words ringing. Still, maybe some taste-blind soul would call this good. You never know food till you try it, she says, choking it down. The harsh critic folds completely. Thumbs up, it's delicious. Really, Hae-ji breathes. Of course, oysters good, strawberries good, meat good. Just a mix of everything tasty. The sister beams through the strain. Both fists up, the schoolgirl glows. She's so glad. Then a third voice backs the lie. Thumbs raised. Exactly. Delicious. Gio wolfs the cursed bowl down, ready to eat it every day. Meat and fruit dancing in his mouth. He raves. His taste buds clearly didn't. Bowls scraped clean across the table, and a voice gives thanks. Plates cleared. The boss says there's one thing to settle. Settle what? She points her chopsticks and names it. Gio's living situation. Emergency or not, a grown man rooming with two women is bad for Hae-ji. But he's hunted by the lab, the schoolgirl frets, so where can he go? Headquarters was an option, but his cover's too risky, so that's out. Hold on, she says, and reaches for her phone. She dials someone official. It's her, and she needs a place, fast. Word comes back. The units are full, but a room opens up soon. A relief. At least the wait won't be long, so for now, the kid can stay. Gio lights up and blurts a thank you. That's great, Hae-ji cheers, and Twigum barks along. Wait, the older sister cuts in, pen to paper. She's not finished. The boy just stares, thrown, no idea what's coming. A hand slaps a sheet of paper onto the table. Rule 1, he sleeps in the living room, never near Hae-ji's. She slides over 10 rules to sign. Death penalty clauses included. Break 1, she warns, and he won't like it. He swears he'll obey. Especially, she adds, if she catches him near Hae-ji's room. He clutches the contract, trembling, as she promises something far worse. Let's get along for now, she says. A strained yes. Even Hae-ji winces. Enough about house rules. She tells him to step outside with her. The kid blinks, thrown, asking where they're headed. Arms crossed, she says she needs to gauge his full power. Early morning, a quiet lot, nobody around. Perfect. If he wants the lab gone, she needs to know what he can do. So he explains. Hurt him and his body just regenerates. It runs on blood. Full up, he revives endlessly. Run dry, and it quits. She cuts in. She doesn't buy that regeneration is his only trick. Combing his fight with Chae-won, she found traces only real strength leaves. Gio figures he's always had it. Maybe the heart just makes him stronger. But the boss isn't sold. That was way past just better. He never fully healed at the lab, so he's only learning this now. Finger to her chin. Blood is both his medicine and his fuel. Then the superintendent turns and walks off across the lot. Something skids to his feet. Take this, she tells him. A grip dynamometer. Squeeze it with everything he's got. A grip tester? The kid's seen one before, back at the lab. A flashback. A small hand on the gauge. A kid asking how it works. Back now, he grips it and remembers the drill. Strength into the hand. Then the blood surges down his arm into his fist. Teeth bared, he crushes down with everything. The dynamometer bursts apart in his grip. The boss can only blink. Huh? She stares. He just crushed a tester rated for 500 kilos. His grip strength edges out a gorilla's. Gio panics and stammers a sorry. Never been this strong, probably the blood. The boss sizes him up. Stronger than she figured. Then chunks of concrete lift off the ground and orbit her head. A flick of focus and the whole cluster turns on him. The barrage tears in at Gio from every angle. He twists and ducks, scrambling through the storm of stone. Then one clips him clean on the head. Heian looks impressed. Those paths were random. Dodging a couple would have been a feat. That physique alone, she says, makes him a high-rank heart mutant. He just blinks. The stones moved like they were alive. He asks if her power's a superpower. She gives him a long, flat stare. No such thing, she says. Mutant powers are pure science, not magic. He nods along. Her mutation is a national secret, she shrugs, so her lips are sealed. But she warns him to hide his own powers and stay off the radar. Then a wry smirk. He probably knows that game better than she does. And Gio quietly admits she's right. Ever since he got his human body back, he's thrown his power around too freely. Right then, a voice cuts in. There you two are. It's Heiji, beaming, holding up a bag and some drinks she grabbed. Gio lights up like it's the best news all day. Her sister just deadpans. Watching him, Heian softens. Under all that power, he's really just a kid. Heiji asks where she's headed. The boss has a work call, so save her some. Gio chugs the can while she grins and asks how he likes the Coca-Cola. Sparkles burst as he declares the cola downright delicious. Sweet, fizzy, a sting going down, like his brain switching on. He gushes that it flips a switch in his head, and Heiji laughs, glad. But this one nags at him. He's tasted it somewhere before. The memory surfaces. Chaewon in his apron, that perfect burger on the plate. Then it clicks. He'd had this with the burger his friend once made. Beside him, Heiji catches the shift and asks what's wrong. Head down, he murmurs it's nothing. She doesn't buy it, watching him with a puzzled frown. He admits it. For a second, he thought of his friend, and the others too. On the rooftop bench, he says they were all so close once. She can tell how he cherishes them. He glowed at that burger shop. To him, he says they were family, and the lab still gives him nightmares. But the moments he spent with them meant everything. Crowded together on that cold floor, those friends made him forget the pain. They were the ones who kept him breathing in that hellhole. He wanted them all to escape and be happy, yet he alone made it out. Head bowed, he reminds himself his friends are still trapped in the lab. His fist clenches tight. That's why he's going to save every last one, even if it means fighting the lab and tearing the place down. Heiji admits she's no mutant, so she's not sure how much help she'll be, but she beams and tells him to call on her anytime. The offer catches him off guard and his face softens. A few days later, at a high school across town, word races through the halls. A transfer student? The girls lose it over his looks, scrambling for his Insta. Up front, the teacher quiets them and announces the new kid. Meanwhile, his resurrection heart pounds away, and he wonders if he'll fit in. He still can't quite grasp how Heian talked him into this. Stiff and sweating, the boy forces out a nervous hello. She'd promised that here he might just find a lost friend. His name is Kim Gio. Today, the protagonist officially becomes a high schooler. Up front, he's so nervous he might puke. A girl confirms his name, Gio. Another whispers he's kind of cute. Then the questions fly. Where'd he transfer from? Can he play soccer? Overhead, the kid sits alone in a spotlight, everyone staring. Rewind a day. Heian hands him a bag, his first mission. She's planned it for days, and skipping isn't an option. He pulls out a folded white uniform, completely lost. Heiji nearly chokes. That's her own school's uniform. Starting tomorrow, the boss says, he transfers into her sister's school. And now here he is, walking through the gates. At his desk, a mob swarms him. Insta, gaming, can he ball? Where's he from? How tall? What's his MBTI? He can't keep up. Heian had warned he doesn't act like a normal person. To help her investigation, he has to blend in. Above all, nobody can suspect he's a heart mutant. The swarm won't quit. Classmates buzz about weekend plans. He just broods. No idea, Heian, and he's pretty sure his cover's already blown. Then a hand slams his desk. Yo, stop right there. A red-haired classmate barges in, snapping they're freaking the new kid out. Arm around Gio, Taegu sells the cover. New in town, killer at every sport. Wait, you actually know Taegu? These two look like different genres. Dead serious. Basically childhood friends. Somebody mutters, you mean childhood friends. He waves the crowd off, loads to catch up on. The others drift away. Breathing again, Gio shoots him a grin. Taegu, thank you. The grin drops. Heiji told him everything. Gio plays a normal normal student, right? Taegu knows this school inside out, knew he could count on him. Big thumbs up, sparkles and all. Anything he doesn't know, just ask. First question, and the face goes white. He doesn't know. The teacher's grilling him. Exams looming, nothing memorized. Aw, why only me? Next one. What bacteria causes the Black Death? Taegu smirks behind his hand. Then beaming, dead confident, he bellows the answer. COVID. The teacher cracks his head. COVID, don't be ridiculous. The class loses it. Even Gio chuckles along, the red-haired kid nursing his skull behind him. Then the teacher rounds on Gio. The transfer student should try. Taegu panics. The new guy's strong, sure, but a total airhead. Hand up, beaming, Gio nails it. It's Yersinia pestis. The class is impressed. A girl grins, nothing like Taegu. Half surprised he studied at all, the teacher fires one about the caste system. He doesn't even let it land. That'd be the caste system. The questions come faster, and he fires every one straight back. Stunned, the teacher just pushes his glasses up. Never seen a kid answer that fast, he says, and calls for applause. Gio scratches his head, bashful, while the class whispers genius. Taegu just gapes. The kid isn't a dummy after all. After class, he corners Gio, demanding how he knew all that. The boy blinks. Taegu butchers the word. What incident? And the kid supplies it. Oh, Sarajevo. Then, zipping his jacket with a sheepish grin, he admits he has no idea either. Taegu just gapes, completely lost. Wait, if Gio doesn't know either, how did he ace every answer? Back in the lab, he explains, they let the kids borrow the textbooks. He read them over and over, dreaming of one day making friends. The redhead squints, not sure what to do with that. Then he bursts into tears, gripping Gio's shoulder. What kind of life was that? Tears gone in a flash, he grins. PE next. Way more fun. Down in the gym, the class fans out across the floor. The PE teacher hefts a ball. Today, it's dodgeball. Class 1 versus Class 2. The two sides square off, trash talking about who's dead meat. Then Gio scratches his head and asks what dodgeball even is. You throw from your zone and dodge what comes back, Taegu explains. Throwing and dodging. Can he even manage that? His friend just grins. Right then, a ball nails Taegu in the face. The gym howls while Gio rushes over. Hey, you okay? He grits his teeth. Nothing, a tickle. Then his nose gushes blood. Brushing it off, the redhead tells him not to worry. Besides, he points out, the transfer kid is the last one standing. Sorry, his friend admits, wiping the blood. Dodgeball was never his thing. Just dodge and throw, he insists. How's that different, Gio wonders. Then Taegu drops the real tip. Scared of your powers, move at half strength. Remember, just half. Okay, the kid mumbles, I'll try. My bad, the redhead laughs, jogging off. Use only half, he repeats. Easier said than done. The gorilla he once outgripped looms in his head. Right then, a buzz-cut jock winds up, barking at him to focus. He hurls it with everything. You're out too. The ball screams in. Gio panics. What does he even do? Then the fear drains. His face goes cold, eyes locked on the ball. He dodges clean on instinct, but mid-step, that nagging half. Half his power? The kid tests the throttle, wondering if it's like this. Ball in hand, he dodges everything. The class gapes. Total pro. This transfer student, they whisper, is downright insane. Feet planted, he slips every ball with his upper body. Single-handed, he's making fools of all of Class 2. Then the gym teacher throws up an X. Who said split your body in half? Gio just frowns, dead serious. Wait, did he mean left and right? A ball slams dead into his face. Flat on the floor, the new kid gets a worried, hey, you okay? He touches his nose and the hand comes away red, a nosebleed. But he just bursts out laughing. Never mind then, guess he's fine. Up in the bleachers, a friend nudges Heiji to check out Class 2's transfer. Chin in her hands, she smiles softly. Yeah, he's settling in just fine. The sky goes orange. School's out. PC cafe before cram school. Walking out with Heiji and Big Taegu, he gets asked how day one went. The redhead smirks. Bet keeping that secret of yours isn't easy, huh? Taegu throws a thumb at himself. Need anything? Just ask. In his new uniform, Gio figures this place is nothing like the lab. Out on the field, kids kick a ball around. Nobody's controlling him here. Boys crowd a game console, yelling over it. Everyone talks freely. At the snack bar, a little money buys you anything. He cracks a small smile and admits it all still feels a little awkward. A black-haired girl with headphones grins, saying she had so much fun. None of this, Gio says, if he hadn't met the two of them. Hands on his backpack straps, the kid beams a bright polite thank you. Taegu waves it off. Don't get sappy. Plenty left to teach him. Somewhere else, a squat building sits alone by an empty road. Inside, suited men stride in. Word from the lab? Nobody's caught the skimming.
The boss smirks. A few more days playing nice and they're done. Then he stops cold. Wait. In the dark, a hunched figure cradles a glowing red core. Who the hell is that? A scruffy guy in shades slurps instant noodles, told he showed up early. Some hideout. A boss writes him off as a bum and says toss him out. Two goons haul him off while he wails about not finishing his soup. Forget the soup, a buzzcut snaps, or he'll crack the guy's head open. Munching away, the stranger squints at him. Is this the face? Ugh, why is it so hard to see, he grumbles.
Then it hits him. The shades are still on. That's better. Up go the sunglasses, the corn dog goes flying. There's his man. Get lost while I'm being nice, the buzzcut growls. Before I kill you. Right then the goon freezes, gaping at his own hand. Half the stranger's face cracks into black stone. Quit being a baby. He just stands there, easy, while the thug folds over in pain. Then a calm question. You're heading back from the lab with the cash, right? His power has a name, the Heart of Rock. Hand raised, Kang Do-hyung calls it payment. Consider the debt settled. On the field, a soccer game's in full swing, everyone yelling for the ball. It's been a week now since the protagonist started going to school. The first job Hye-in handed him was simple. Act normal, blend into ordinary life. At first, he kept dreading he'd get exposed, wondering if he was acting weird. With all that worry, he can't ever relax into it. Then it hits him, studying and eating and living with kids his own age. School turns out way more fun than he ever pictured. Taegu boots it over, yelling at him to shoot. Still can't believe he gets to run and play like this again. He plants and fires. Then he traps it clean and drives it upfield. He winds up and blasts it, and a watching kid just freezes. The whole class loses it, howling that the new guy's a total clown. Sitting in the grass, red-faced and laughing, he figures he passes for normal now. Barely remembers the days he spent running now, and it's all thanks to Heiji and Taegu. Then a chicken skewer at a food stall stops Geo cold. Taegu snorts that the kid pulls this every time somebody buys him something. The redhead lunges to snatch it, and Geo yelps that it's for Twigum. Then Heiji warns him dogs shouldn't eat seasoned food, and his world quietly shatters. Right then a noise stops all three cold, something nearby that sounded human. A scruffy man in shades lies face down nearby, groaning he's starving. He'd fought brokers all night, way more of them than he ever expected. Now he can't even crawl, desperate for anything to eat. Then his eyes lock onto a flower bed. Dirt will do, he figures. His heart can pull energy straight from the soil. Then a hand grabs his wrist. You really shouldn't eat dirt. The stranger jolts, swearing he wasn't trying to eat dirt. Geo nods along. Tried it once himself, and dirt just wrecks your stomach. Helpfully, the kid points at the bed. The dandelion leaves and clovers are edible. From the path, Taegu sighs you can't eat those either. Really? The man croaks. Hands up, he insists it's all a misunderstanding. He's no homeless guy. Too late, they've already got him pegged as homeless. Then a scent hits, and the goofing stops cold. Nose locked on, the kid begs a classmate to hand it over. It's a chicken skewer, and the owner hasn't even had a bite. The poor guy softens, seeing his own broke past in this homeless stranger. So he caves. Fine, just take one bite. One bite, he claims. Then inhales the whole skewer. Nom after nom, he wolfs it down while the owner wails in mourning. Stick licked clean, the protagonist lets out a deeply satisfied belch. Then Geo flops spread eagle. He can finally live again. He gushes it was the best skewer ever. Hyeji offers to buy another. Then the kid bows low, swearing up and down he'll pay it all back. He flips open a bag packed with cash. Every jaw drops. Do-hyung holds out a thick wad of cash. Reward enough. The three kids just gape. Turns out the beggar wasn't a beggar. He presses it on them as thanks. Too much, one balks. Taegu says grab it. Then the bills vanish from their hands in a blur. A helmeted rider blows past and rips the money bag away. Bystanders scream pickpocket. The redhead wails his textbook money, begging someone to catch them. Heiji whips out her phone to call the cops, then stops short. She looks up and everyone's gone. Bike tearing off down the street, Do-hyung sprints after it, demanding his bag back. Two thieves ride double, cackling that three losers can't catch a motorcycle. Geo tells his friend to fall back. He's chasing this one solo. Taegu gets it, tough to go full power with eyes everywhere. Then the robber trips, screaming for a catch. The redhead grabs his collar. Do-hyung snaps what the hell he's doing. Taegu just grins. Almost fell. Back on Geo, chasing a stolen bag and with no eyes watching, he cuts loose. Deep in his chest, the mutant heart throbs, that red core flaring to life. He explodes into a
sprint, the street smearing past. Up ahead, two helmeted snatchers gun it on a motorbike. On foot, he's gaining. They glance back, rattled. No clue how some kid ran their bike down. Eyes glowing red, he looms in. The driver screams at his pal to floor it. Too late. The kid soars clean over the bike. He lands running as the bike wipes out, one rider spilling across the asphalt. The thieves twist around, spooked by that inhuman strength. Then the rider's eye goes wide behind the visor, the words dying in his throat. The gap won't close. No human runs down a bike, so he's gotta be a mutant. One spots a crate stack in the alley and yells to topple it. The passenger swings a steel pole, snarling at the freak to get lost. Cinder blocks rain down. He barrels through, swatting them aside. Teeth bared, eyes locked dead on the bag, the kid keeps coming. Stone blocks burst apart behind two masked riders, the lab's brokers caught mid-getaway. They peel off on a motorcycle, one flipping a cheery middle finger goodbye. Back in the rubble, a broker groans, head pounding. Another one drags himself up, muttering he has to make the money back again. Down a side alley, passersby crowd around something. Is that guy even okay? A crowd's already formed over a battered man, wondering if they should call an ambulance. Far off, the bike tears across an empty lot, dust trailing behind it. The driver checks behind, sure nobody's chasing them now. Bragging about the sweet haul, he never sees the road. Look ahead, the rider screams. Planted in their path, fist turned to stone, stands Kang Do-hyung, the heart of rock. His stone fist slams the lead rider off the bike. Both robbers go flying, the wreck tumbling across the lot. They hit the pavement hard, one of them howling. He strolls up to the downed pair, asking why they ran so hard. Lowering his shades, he tells them, touch the ground and he senses everything. Floored on the gravel, one of the brokers wonders if this guy is a mutant too. The newcomer says flat out that money was never theirs to keep. Stone cracking up his face, he holds out a hand. Hand it over. The tattooed broker spits back, bullshit. He sneers, asking if being a heart mutant means an iron gut now. Then an engine roars, and one thug guns a bike for the exit. Headlights swing in from every side. This is their hideout, punk. Grinning inches from Do-hyung's stone face, the broker promises to sell him off too. Oh, really? Dead calm, like none of it matters. For that, Do-hyung drawls, they're way too short on numbers. In his chest sits the source, a heart of solid, cracked stone. His palm slams the concrete and shards leap up around it. Floor it, the gang yells. Ram him before the powers land. The lead rider charges, and stone fangs erupt from the ground in his path. A pack of bikers rings a hideout, and the ground starts bucking under them. Stone spikes rip up through the floor, scattering riders and bikes. The lone crouched figure rises, promising to bury the whole place. Then, it all caves in at once. Across town, a suited man slaps a dossier on a desk, addressing his boss. That boss is Song Hai-in, and this is the tracking data she asked for. The file flags one Kang Dong-wook, tied to a construction firm fronting the lab. She studies the photo, the scruffy guy from the wreckage, and notes he looks young. Mind made up, the superintendent decides to loop Gio in. The aide asks if this Kong is the friend the kid's been hunting. Who knows, she says, cool as ever. Could be the very friend Gio wants, could be nobody at all. But a sly smile is already creeping across her lips. Her gut tells her this is exactly the friend Gio's looking for. You found my friend? Gio's already halfway out of his chair. Hae-in waves it off. Nothing's confirmed, so calm down. Right, of course, he laughs. The superintendent leans back with her tablet. The uniform suits you. How's school going? A ton of fun, the kid admits, but school just makes him miss his friends more. Then he circles right back. What did she mean they might know one of them? Someone they're investigating, she says, and right around his age. So check if this is really your friend. A surveillance photo slides across the dossier. He grabs it, and that face stops him cold. That's the homeless guy from earlier. The cop just blinks. Homeless? The one who ate his whole chicken skewer and was chowing on dirt before that. Name's Kang Dong-wook, she says. Ring any bells? No, he murmurs. The protagonist doesn't know him. His eyes were half shot at the lab, but still, the name, the face, both completely new to him. Then something snaps in him, and he's clutching the photo like a lifeline. Wait a second. He yanks out his phone and holds up footage of the same man. A power that turns the whole body to stone. It clicks instantly. That scruffy lab kid from years back. It's Kang Do-hyung. He leans in, pressing, is she sure this guy really uses stone? Hae-in confirms it without a blink. The heart of rock. So where is he right now? Kang serves the lab like Chae-won did, and got a billion-won construction firm for it. Mostly circumstantial, the superintendent admits, but she's convinced. So he's on her list. Do-hyung too. Another friend tangled up with the lab just like Chae-won. She watches him, then asks if he'll take the job. The corner of his mouth curls up. Of course he will.
The lab runs a front, a public works contractor called Homan Construction. And the man at the top of it is Kang Do-hyung. Hide who he is, slip onto the site where the rock mutant works, and meet him. There, he digs into whatever business Kang is running with the lab. But there's one thing he has to keep in mind. Kang Do-hyung is in far deeper with the lab than Lee Chae-won ever was. Still, if he can win the rock mutant over, even turn him into an asset, they might just drag the whole lab out into the open. The ones hiding in the shadows, using his friends as tools. Meanwhile, red-haired Tae-gu strains under a heavy load, grinding out one question. Gio said this was about finding and helping a friend, not back-breaking manual labor. Beside him, the protagonist checks in, grateful, but Tae-gu didn't have to do this. The big guy just grins and waves it off. This is nothing, worry about yourself. In his head, it's glamorous. They're infiltrating a company, a full-on spy mission. Tae-gu pumps both fists, beaming. Just leave it to him. Gio thanks him. Asked when he'll finally meet the guy, he admits he doesn't even know where Do-hyung is. That sets the redhead off. So the plan is wandering the site till he turns up? The kid asks if that's bad. Obviously, with the whole site crawling with workers. The plan? Butter up the old hands, then ask to meet the boss. He's Joe Tae-gu, he reminds him. Flatter these guys and they fold. The foreman just snarls. Who let these two brats slack off here? The crew waves them off. Figure it out yourselves. Kids today bail the second it gets hard, one sneers. Then they round on Gio, ragging the pretty boy for carrying so much. Move this whole pile within the hour, the foreman barks, or go home. Move it, move it! The two choke out a yes sir. The crew strolls off, grumbling about hiring kids. No opening to even ask. Grunt work first then. But that whole steel mountain in an hour? Run with a heavy load, the boy gets yelled at again. His answer? Shoulder the entire stack and just walk. Tae-gu loses it. 8 bundles, 160 kilos, nobody lifts that. The crew just stares, not sure what they're even looking at. 8 bags on his back, and the rock guy swears he isn't running. Feet a total blur, Kang insists he's only speed walking. Then it's the protagonist's turn, and they're yelling at him to wait up. 8 bags of cement, gone in a sprint. What kind of strength is that? By the time anyone blinks, the whole pile's already been moved. Done inside an hour, the two of them are buzzing for the next job. The foreman just groans. That's a lot of raw muscle for one task. He starts to ask about the far stack, but the kid's already gone for it. Coming through, MC calls, and a worker dives clear just in time. Just passing through, Do-hyung adds, barreling past with a load. The whole crew goes slack-jawed, watching 2 monsters tear up the site. That stack's cleared too, like it was nothing. Beaming, Gio asks what else he can help haul. The foreman fumbles for an answer, and nothing comes out. Hard hat on, undercover, the kid dumps cement bags into the barrels. All smiles, he ferries a tray of tools across the site. Then he shoulders 2 massive timber beams like they weigh nothing. The old hands are impressed. These new kids are tough. One figures if every youngster worked like this, they'd hire them all. Then, a worker on the ladder freezes, eyeing a heavy cable spool. A live wire whips loose. "Look out!" he screams. It's swinging straight at a frozen laborer. "Move!" they yell. Right then, the kid dives in and catches it bare-handed. Sprawled on the ground, the saved man yells up at him. He roars under the strain, and the skull bleeds back through. Someone slams the high-voltage breaker, killing the current fast. The cable drops dead, and the crew swarms in. "Gio!" they shout. From every side, they rush him, asking if he got electrocuted. Grinning it off, the protagonist swears he's fine. That was close. The current ran weak, so he never burned. One slip from blowing his cover. The crew howls, thanking him. Those reflexes just saved one of theirs. They can't believe a scrawny kid yanked a live cable bare-handed. A total wildcat. Inside, he's just glad nobody noticed. This site's nastier than he figured. No wonder the old-timers stay on edge. Rough work, decent guys. Tae-gu leans in. They've bought the act. Time to start digging. Homan Construction, right? If Haein asks around too openly, the lab spooks. So they fish for it sideways. The redhead flags a worker down. "Anywhere here packed with 20-somethings?" The guy blanks, then waves at the crew. "All their age, pushing 40. The others crack up, ribbing old Kim. Early 30s tops. Tae-gu nearly blurts he's 17, so Gio clamps his mouth. He meant early 20s. A worker nods. Homan Construction's crawling with young blood. That's the hook. The kid lights up, asking where to find them. The worker just warns it's brutal to crack into. Big money, twice the grind. Tae-gu and Gio corner a worker, begging him to point the way. The worker points across the lot. Speak of the devil, here they come. Then a white van rolls up to the site. The two of them freeze, gaping at what climbs out. What kind of construction crew shows up head to toe in designer brands? Gucci, Louis Vuitton, Burberry. Taegu can't even guess what these guys pull in. Then a sneaker drops from the van, and one more man steps down. Scruffy, shades on. Gio knows that face on sight. The man flips up his shades, eyes narrowing at the kid. Grinning, Kang asks if he's the kid who handed him that chicken skewer. He leans in close, dead sure he's got it right. He's sure of it now. They've met before. Gio's mouth curls cold. Of course they have, Kang Do-hyung. Yeah, they've met. It's been over 10 years. 10 years back. Two lab kids in gowns, gripping rocks. Back to now. Gio tells him flat out. They've met before. Over 10 years ago. Kang grins, placing him at once. The kid who handed him chicken skewers. No coincidence, the protagonist says. He came looking, knowing he worked here. The grin slides off. He frowns. Looking for me? Then the kid drops it. He's joining the company. Helped or blackmailed, he doesn't care which. He just wants his old friend back. And whatever ties Kang to that lab, Gio means to cut it clean off. Present day, lounging on a couch in his shades, the boss turns it over. He asks if the boy just wants a job. Gio nods, jittery Taegu beside him. A slow grin and he turns it down. Flattering, but no, go home. The protagonist figured a man of principle would refuse, but soon he'll have no choice. A cold smile of his own. Kang's going to need him. He knows too much. Need him? The boss scoffs, while Gio rises to face him across the room. Calm and certain, he offers to prove it. The room opens up. A whole crew rings the table, sneering. A goon tells him to quit wasting time and get lost. Behind the round glasses, Gio's jaw sets, and he says nothing. Then he starts hauling everything in the room around. Taegu panics, hissing that you can't just touch their stuff. The crew gawks, baffled at the new kid rearranging their office. One thug yells as a whole concrete slab slides across the floor. Done. The protagonist dusts off his hands. All done. The entire room is reordered now. The most efficient flow of movement, he says. That snaps them. Someone roars to drag the punk out, but Kang waves them off, shades glinting, and tells him to explain why. Right-handed boss, so the coffee cup goes on his right. The documents, sorted by the date each one came in. Pen holder set clear of the elbow, but still in reach. Leaning back, Kang thumbs at the heavy cabinet, and moving that. It was blocking the one window that sees the whole worksite. Kang shows off the office, that wide window his lookout over the whole site. Out on the floor, a worker blows up. They set it up their own way. Gio just answers flat, do it right, and today's accident never happens. Real efficiency, he says, is a site anyone reads and reacts to fast. That word lands wrong. Accident? What accident? And one of them stammers, busted. Behind the shades, Kang can't believe his crew never even noticed. He points the foreman down. Speak. Did you know an accident happened or not? The foreman fumbles, no report yet. The boss snaps. You need a report for that? The signs were everywhere, he barks. Scattered materials, a worker gone missing. The delay alone should have told them. No wonder accidents happen here. Then the finger swings around to Gio. And you. The kid just holds a faint smile and says nothing. And the boss breaks into a wide grin, sold on him. He bursts out laughing. The kid caught something even he had overlooked. He'll rethink the whole operation now, he admits. Gio taught him all of it. Kang walks him through it. Wider pathways, smoother flow, nobody getting hurt. Gio eats it up, marveling the boss cares about the workers, begging to learn. Flustered at the praise, Do-hyung caves. Fine, he'll teach him a bit. Then he points, shades and all. Start today, as an intern for now. Busy man, so the boss waves him off to learn from the crew. The crew bows deep, whispering that the kid won the CEO over Solo. Behind the disguise, the protagonist files it away, now to dig into Do-hyung's lab work. But the red-haired worker's glare says otherwise. Under his breath, the guy curses. Arrogant little brat, he sneers. The whole crew is circled around and Gio clocks it. They look ready to kill. 1 hour later, they're dropping a fat pipe into a trench. Grunt labor till the boss returns, but he got close to Kang. A huge win. Down in the trench, a foreman whips around. Who laid it like this? Wrong way, the other way, he roars at the little punks. Gio protests they just did as told. Since when? The foreman fires back, all innocent. Stop talking back and lay it the other way, the man bellows. An hour later, they've torn it up and laid it all again. Then another foreman storms in. Who told you to lay the drainage pipe yet? Taegu just stares, the math short-circuiting in his head, a finger in his face. The slope isn't even leveled, nothing upstairs. No, you absolutely told us to do it now, the redhead shoots back. That earns a collar grab. Got a problem, then get lost. Pull it all out again, the foreman snaps. 1 hour. Then the man turns away smirking and Taegu catches it. The whole crew rings them in grinning. The hazing is on purpose. Taegu nearly blows, done being treated like a pushover. Then he yanks Gio up, suddenly desperate for the restroom. Just a dump, he swears. He tails the foreman to a doorway where one's cackling about their faces. Efficiency, what a joke, they sneer, some scrawny punk acting high and mighty. Around a stew pot, the crew schemes to harass the new kids till they quit. One drags a cigarette. The foreman's on their side, just pin every screw up on the punks. Taegu, the red-haired one, isn't taking it. He barges in and slams a fist down. Did they think he'd just sit there? He swears he'll beat the lot of them senseless. The crew freezes. When did this punk slip in? A worker grabs his collar, done being jerked around. Fist cocked, the man grits that he wants to swing, but can't deck a kid. Taegu only laughs, daring him to throw the punch. A third hand pries them apart. Hey, knock it off, he's just a kid. The vest man rounds on the redhead. He got in through a friend, so just work. At least the friend works smart, the man sneers. So what does he even do? Arms thrown wide, Taegu boasts the others aren't the only ones working. He's far stronger. One worker's face goes dark. Oh really? He's strong? He drops an elbow on the table. Then how about some arm wrestling? Leaning in with a smirk, he sets the stakes. Win and they'll back off for good. Taegu gawks at the challenge, muttering arm wrestling is suddenly some kid stuff. Then he grins wide and steps up himself, bragging he never lost a match at school. Hands lock across the table. The burly worker promises to wipe that grin into tears. One snap. The worker pins Taegu's arm and flings him clean off his feet. Sprawled out, he gapes at his own flattened hand. His arm trembles flat under the grip, and all he manages is a strangled, "What?" The worker grins down, hand pinned. Taegu realizes a real fight would have wrecked him. You lost, so both of you quit and get out, the winner says. The kid balks. A green-vested foreman smirks. Did he think the rules cut only one way? Taegu grinds his teeth, finally getting it. Pushing them off the job was the plan. One slam and his hand is already bruising purple. The worker bears down, crushing the hand, and he screams. Still locked tight, the big man grins. Let's keep going, and Taegu howls. His free hand flies up, begging. He's sorry, he'll leave. Sure, he'll take the loss, Taegu pleads, but his friend will never agree to this. Maybe his friend should try too, he offers. Ah, the pretty boy, the foreman muses. Kang just shrugs him off. Go talk Gio into it yourself. It's no use, Taegu groans. He'll never crack that guy's stubbornness. One punch from Gio and these goons all drop. So he begs the room. Somebody break that stubbornness for me. Doesn't matter, a heavy sneers, clamping his hand. They're not leaving anyway. Because once it gets crushed, you'll walk out on your own. Clench tight, the bruiser taunts and bears down. The redhead buckles over the table, knuckles grinding. Tears pouring, he howls for his mom and dad. Then the real cry tears out. Save me, Gio! Right then, a pale hand clamps down over both of theirs. The whole break room freezes. Kang's stare hardens and nobody moves. A black-haired worker grins. Arm wrestling runs by different rules here. Then he eyes the newcomer. Do it with me. Two of the crew are howling, cracking up that this lunatic volunteered himself. Gio just stares back, dead-eyed. These punks treat hands like a joke. Taegu, hand crushed, jabs a finger at his own ruined arm. A guy in a vest lays out the rigged rules. Get hurt, pay your own bills. The bruiser sneers he'd have gone easy out of pity, but forget it now. Hands reach across the table, and he warns the arm might get wrecked. The grip locks tight. Inside, the thug seethes. The brat's got zero awareness. The nerve to sit first. He swears he'll wreck the hand so bad it never heals. The grinning friend, too. Done in under a second, he grins. Ready, go! And he slams down with everything. The arm doesn't budge an inch, and his own starts tearing instead. Then the bruiser is screaming, eyes blown wide. His arm, his arm! The crew freezes, every face twisting in disbelief. Dead calm, Gio tells the enforcer to reset his grip. His fist slams the table. They're not done yet. Wood explodes everywhere as Taegu, floored, cries out for him. The enforcer crumples, screaming that his arm is gone. The others just gape, stammering at the new hire. Then they snap. One swings a plank, cursing him. The kid doesn't flinch, doesn't even blink. Two close in. He drops them, blood spraying. Two more go flying off their feet. Another swings. Down he goes. Now they're calling him a monster. A palm to the next face slams him straight down. The last one hits the floor, bloodied. Crew's wiped out. Two of them haul up their bloodied buddy, rattled.
Then the redhead jabs a finger at the kid. He's no average rookie. The call goes out, everyone on him, and the crew rushes in swinging. A fist comes flying and he catches it clean. The crew freezes. Right then, a roar fills the room, and the boss looms in the doorway, eyes blazing. He shoves between two of them. What's going on here? One throws his hands up, stammering for the president. Then Do-hyung slams him flat to the floor, stone hand crushing a skull to the wall. He said train them, not torture them. The redhead goes pale, dreading how far up this could blow. So he scrambles to cover it, just a friendly arm wrestle, nothing serious. The kid points him out as the real bully, and the foreman screams he's fired. Behind his shades, the boss isn't buying it. His goons strong-arming people is old news. But this time, he tells the crushed thug, you went way too far. The crew's sprawled across the floor, one guy's arm clearly broken. But his own friend's hand is swollen too bad to make a fist. So yeah, he paid them back in full, so they never try it again. Kang scoffs that the kid's still mouthing off right to the end. He's been cutting him slack, but is the intern begging to get decked? It's not that he wants a beating. Staying quiet just never changes anything. That stops Kang cold. What? A small boy huddles in a lab gown. Speaking up changes nothing here. Then a half-skull kid grins and insists nothing changes if they stay quiet. His own pain he can take. A friend's he won't allow. This kid keeps dragging up the old days, Kang thinks. Taegu groans they're done for. The boss is so gonna fire them. But the boss just smirks. Fire them? You think you can wreck the place and bolt? Taegu just stares, stunned. They're not getting fired? The man whose arm Geo broke is hospital bound, so someone has to cover his work. A crew thug scrambles to claim the cushy job himself. The boss shuts him down cold. Then Kang warns them he's already holding back a lot. Geo volunteers to cover it instead, asking what the job even is. Do-hyung won't say. Just show up at 5 tomorrow and he'll train the kid himself. Next morning, 5 sharp, Geo stands alone under the floodlights. He figures a job called this early has to be lab business. Wondering what Do-hyung has planned, he hears the boss. You're here. Stay close, Kang says. We're going far in. Yes, sir. A button click and they start dropping. A basement down here. The old freight elevator keeps sinking. No end in sight. What's he hiding? Kang smirks. Nervous? A little, yeah, the kid admits. Funny, Kang grins, coming from the kid who told the boss off to his face yesterday. The intern shrugs it off. He can't stand watching a friend get picked on. Beats people who only talk big and do nothing, he says, and the boss likes that. Still, Kang warns, no stunts like the one he pulled before. A finger levels at him. Cause trouble down here too, and he's dead. The doors clank open at the bottom. We're here, Kang says. Get off. Geo's eyes go wide. Past the doors runs a tunnel so long there's no seeing the end of it. He wonders what Do-hyung is building for the lab that needs all this. It's all a company secret, the boss says, and the kid mutters a yes sir. The job itself is simple. Haul every drum to the marked spots. Drums of what? Geo starts, and Kang cuts him off. No questions. All moved by end of day. And since he beat those guys up, no complaining. Kang heads out, leaving him to it. Geo just nods. Strange, seeing his old friend in person again. He almost let his cover slip. The protagonist needs to crack what Do-hyung and the lab are plotting, fast. Only then can he show his real face. But first, these drums. They're sealed dead tight, like they were never meant to open. Red eye flaring, he decides to just force one. The lid pops clean off. Then the kid freezes. That smell, he knows it cold. One of the lab's chemicals. He has to be sure. Blood in the mix, and it'll tell him exactly what it is. The answer hits and his eye blows wide. A body wasted to bone, drowned in the stuff. The lab made this. Shoulder torn open, the kid recognizes the burn. No doubt about it. This is the same poison the lab pumped into him. So what is Kang Do-hyung actually planning here? He needs to reach Hae-in. The drums tie straight back to the lab. What he doesn't catch? Someone is watching the whole thing on a monitor. A cracked stone hand slowly closes into a fist. Slumped on a couch, the boss mutters that this is no ordinary kid. You're a heart mutant, he says flatly. Did he crack the drums open? Police maybe? Or a rival crew after the lab's chemicals? Either way, Do-hyung figures he'll know once he's captured the kid. His power is regeneration, and a pack of armed goons starts closing in. The order? Find out exactly how far that regeneration goes, and he'll be the one to finish the kid himself. Down by the chemical drums, the kid waves his phone around, hunting for a signal. Watching the feed, Kang finally gets it. The boy knew and came at him deliberately. The boss had pegged the intern for a naive idiot. Not even close. Somehow the boy reads him cold, playing his emotions
motions and slipping under his skin. Every move at the site was bait. He planned it all. He sized Kang up and walked in here on purpose. So Kang calls in the crew. Whatever the kid's after, the boss can't read it. Doesn't matter now. One way or another, the kid picked the wrong man to play. The crew cracks their knuckles and snarls at him to get over here. Phone still up, he barely clocks the mob closing in. He stammers a confused why, and they tell him the camera's already made him. One spits it out, knife in hand. Mutant. Then the whole crew rushes him at once. The first one to reach him drops, blood arcing. Seconds later, the armed crew is scattered across the floor, groaning. Kang sizes him up, muttering, "A body reinforcement mutant?" Geo flexes the wrist, dead calm. Fine, then there's no helping it. Kang snarls back. Blocked path, you just smash through. A spinning kick whips out and a goon goes airborne. One flips upside down, blood off his mouth. The rest just gape. Another fist cuts in. Fast. Two more catch it at once, faces snapping back bloody. So the crew swarms, pinning his arms from every side. A blonde one rears up with a pipe. Why, you little brat. They pile on, choking him down, screaming at him to hold still. Doesn't matter. Two drop limp, faces blanked out cold. The blonde taunts it. Regeneration, huh? His bat breaks bones too. Geo's fist caves his face in mid-swing. The blow launches him clean across the lot. Kang notes the raw force, yet figures the kid's still holding back. Behind the shades, Kang just grins. Come on, show him the real thing. Then he gives the order. Take the kid down all at once. The whole crew swarms, chains out, and piles onto him. They wrench him by the hair and lock the chains tight. A dozen hands clamp every wrist so he can't lift a finger. And still he's rising, the pile groaning that he won't stay down. One thug pulls a knife. They've got the okay to take his arm. The blade rips into him, blood spraying across the grip. Then the guy freezes, hands shaking around a wet blade. Dozens of hits, every one of them, and nothing sticks. The protagonist just stares back, dead-eyed, blood running off his chin. The thug's grin cracks into pure terror. This thing isn't human. Down on the bloody floor, a pale hand slowly opens wide, and deep in his chest, the heart of resurrection flares red. The crew wades in through the blood, bats up, ready to finish him. Then one of them freezes mid-swing, eyes blowing wide. The blood is streaking inward. He's drinking it off the floor. Behind the dark glasses, the watcher catches the change. The shredded skin on Geo's back is already sealing over. Worse, the wounds close faster than they can carve new ones. A regeneration speed like this, the goon knows, is almost unheard of. Each gulp of blood only makes him hit harder. A man folds. Geo tears through them like a runaway train. The crew can only wonder what kind of heart he's packing. His stare goes flat and ice cold as a goon's eyes flood with panic. One swing launches the next man off his feet. Then the rest scatter screaming, bodies bouncing off the walls. Another braces his bat and curses. The kid's just too fast. A grinning thug winds up and swings a club. The bat caves his skull in clean. One of them cackles, blood on his teeth. Then the whole crew piles onto the downed kid. Another swings a steel beam into him, but he's already back on all fours, dead calm. Under his hands, the concrete splits apart. Then he tears a whole slab out of the floor. Up it goes overhead, rubble raining off the edge. Mind made up, the kid hurls it. The slab plows straight into the crew. They throw their arms up, screaming. Concrete bursts apart in a cloud of shrapnel. Dust clears, and his cold eye is already locked on them. His hand hardens, stone cracking over the knuckles. Behind him, the armed crew levels their guns. But the boss just freezes, thrown. Geo has caught the stone fist cold, and Kang demands what kind of heart he's packing. He's met plenty of mutants, but none that close a wound in under a second. Regeneration like that alone makes the kid top tier. And he's physically jacked, too. A healing factor that fast? Only one name fits. Then a memory. Back at the lab, that boy's power was weak, wounds healing slow. And the clincher? He supposedly died, blown apart in a bomb blast. The boy says nothing and drops low. The rock mutant reads the silence as a yes, stone creeping back over his fingers. Stone fist ready, he'll teach the brat some manners. Then he's just gone, and Geo barely gets out a startled, huh? Too soon to show his hand, and he still can't place this guy's lab tie. Mind made up, he keeps the boss on his suspect list to the very end. Then the crew rushes him from every side. One catches him clean, and the wound seals right back up. Kang clocks the instant heal and scoffs. That's the whole trick he leans on? Big mistake, he warns. One real hit leaves more than a single wound. There won't even be a body left to crawl back from. Then the ground erupts in jagged stone. It catches the kid and hurls him back. He crashes into the stone, shaken. Fist reared back, Kang offers one last chance. His arm crackles over into solid stone. The whole fist swells into a boulder of cracked rock. Then he levels the stone fist. Who sent you? The kid twists clear as the spike rips up through the floor. The kid realizes it's worse. The stones lock down his legs, not just the wall. The boss, dead calm, since he's chosen to stay silent to the end. Then he swings. Die. A stone fist comes down like a wrecking ball. Kang reaches down with a thin smirk, the crew rattled behind him. Right then, he winds up again, fist cocked, debris scattering. The punch lands clean, blood sprays. It takes his head clean off, the body still standing, but the severed head sails through the air, eyes flaring red. Mid-flight, the protagonist's glare burns, mouth wrenched open, then a roar tears out of him. Kang stares it down, even with his head blown off. A bare fist clenches, scarred and steady. The body knits itself back together. Kang's eyes go wide. He's regenerating. The protagonist launches off the steel, a shadow against the lattice. Then the kick comes down hard. Across the tunnel, the rock mutant just plants himself and takes it. Not a bad attack, Kang admits, but human bone and flesh can't crack his stone skin. Swing at it, and the kid only shatters his own arm. That was the theory anyway. Even as he says it, the ruined arm is already knitting back. Strange, Kang thinks. Kim Ji-oh. The name keeps clawing its way up. Back in the lab, that kid needed hours to regrow a single arm. This one does it in seconds, even from a severed head. He tells himself not to confuse that harmless boy with this monster. Power like this means an organization, and the boss figures it's after the lab. Police, a rival outfit, the government, none of it matters. The floor cracks under his fist. Kang comes flying down a ridge of bursting stone, set on shielding the lab. Then a brutal kick folds Ji-oh in half. He slams into the rock, debris flying. Behind the cracked glasses, something clicks. A petrified fist smashes his face. Glass is gone. Half his face stone. Do-hyung tells him to quit. It's useless. Once he hands the kid to the lab, they'll learn exactly what he is. Ji-oh catches the fist, realizing this one feeds mutants to the lab too. Dead cold. The protagonist warns him not to hope he walks away. Do-hyung falters. Supplying mutants too? What's that supposed to mean? Then Ji-oh drives a fist clean into him. He roars at Kang to look back on the sins he's racked up. Sins? He scoffs. What's the point of that now? The rock mutant just vows to sell him for all he's worth. In that case, Ji-oh grits, he'll beat some sense into him first. Ji-oh sinks a hand into the blood pool, and Kang just watches. The blood crawls up his arm and soaks straight in. The boss eyes that much blood vanishing, and it starts to dawn on him. Then the kid is on him in an instant. Kang smirks, mocking him for being too dumb to use a power like that. Human bones can't dent his stone, he scoffs. Every punch, just a pathetic little struggle. A stone fist lands and blows Ji-oh clean apart. Strike it 1,000 times, Kang says, and nothing changes. The only thing that breaks, he figures, is the kid's own fist. Then the protagonist cocks that fist right back. They collide mid-air, debris tearing past them, and Kang freezes. The stone is cracking, his hits getting through. The fist drives home, straight into solid rock. Kang's foot slams into him, debris bursting off the impact. Bloodied but grinning, the kid says not to worry. He can strike 1,000 times. Stone cracking down his face, Kang snarls at the monster in front of him. Right then, the boss launches, closing the gap in a blink, and it hits him. The kid never cared that his body was falling apart. He threw himself at every strike just to read the weak spots. Worse, one crack in the rock and it only spreads. The stone fist comes down, and the protagonist doesn't even flinch. Bare hands catch it cold, shattering the rock on contact. Kang stares at his own fists, splitting apart. It can't be. A fist sinks into his gut before he can blink. His speed. The kid buries another punch deep, folding the boss over. Kang goes flying, realizing he just can't keep pace. Then he slams into the concrete, the rock gone, down on one knee. Head back on, the kid drops low. Kang squares up, cracks spider across his stone skin. The boy is hitting that hard. He flexes a half-shredded arm back together, ice cold.
Does this thing even feel pain? Palm flat to the cracked floor, the boss admits it. He badly underestimated this kid. Stone floods his face in fists. No more holding back. Gio narrows his eyes at the sight and wonders, flatly, if the guy is eating rocks. Throat working, lips bloody, he swallows the stone whole. When it settles, Kang is solid rock head to toe, red aura streaming off him. A cracked stone eye finds his men. Get out, he orders. If they want to live, leave now. The crew yelps yes and bolts for the exits. His heart of rock reads out like bedrock. Mostly silica and clay, barely any water. Heavy as packed stone, the floor splits beneath him. A petrifying hand sinks toward the soil, and Kang starts reading every tremor in the ground. A stone fist coils back as he growls that he will raise the very ground. Then he finishes the boast, the hardest, most massive boulder he's got. Gio stares it down, wondering if Kang can really steer something that big, and if that mass lands on him, there won't be a trace left. First things first, get out from under it. Teeth clenched, Kang hurls the whole thing down at him. The kid runs flat out. Arms pumping, he tears across the floor. The boulder slams down where he stood. It bursts apart, raining rubble across the tunnel. Across the wreckage, Kang drops to a knee, winded. He coughs up blood. That regeneration forced him to spend everything. A live capture would have paid a fortune, but he couldn't risk holding back. Half his own face has cracked over into stone from the strain. Then a skeletal shape rises from the dust. No way he survived that. A skinless skeleton stands wreathed in blood mist, and Kang can only think he's regenerating. Then he shakes it off. Sure, even this power has a limit. The rock mutant grins, half his face stone, admitting he half expected the kid to get back up. And since there's still something left of him, the lab can put him to use. Right then, the skeleton lifts a bare arm, reaching skyward. The thing drags itself upright. Kang's eyes narrow, still moving. The grin slips off his face. This shouldn't be possible. He stands alone in a lake of blood, the crew sprawled out around him. Then the floor's pooled blood crawls up into his bones, drinking it in. Then he blurs forward, tearing across the floor. Gio barrels in low, one red eye blazing, and Kang reels, an immortal mutant. He winds back a half-fleshed fist. This is no ordinary regeneration. Muscle knits back over the bare skull, the red eye flickering. It flat out denies death. Then his fist slams into Kang's gut, a white burst, the heart of resurrection. Now it's Kang reeling, stone cracking as a fist caves into his chest. The punch sends him flying back through the air. He smashes clean into the wall behind him. Blood sprays from the boss's mouth, and he still can't believe it. Hacking and coughing, he drops to his hands and knees. Gio stands over him, bloodied legs planted, and Kang glares up, snarling. Teeth clenched, he demands to know what kind of power this is. The kid towers over him, and Kang chokes out who the hell he even is. Half his face still stone, the rock mutant strains to make sense of it. Above him, Gio's face is half bare skull, one red eye glowing through the blood. And it clicks for Kang at last. That skeleton, the kid from the lab. The boy he'd buried in that bomb blast never died at all. The flesh knits back over the skull, and Kang barely gets the question out. Whole and unkillable, the kid just stares him down. Kim Gio. Still down, Kang demands why he hit his face and wormed into the company. Then he spits it. The kid's a crazy bastard. Gio clocks it. The rock mutant is winding up his power again. This time, he's going for the kill. This is the one hit the protagonist can't afford to take. Stone fist, stone face. Kang roars his name and swings. Mid-air, Gio catches the punch cold. Planning to kill your own friend? He pins the fist still and tells him to quit it. Then, fist locked, the quiet part. I know it's you. Construction site, sundown, the brawl's over. Kang stands there with a paper cup, murmuring Gio's name. He hauled the kid up to the office to cool off and talk. But this isn't the lab kid he knew. The temper, the power, none of it. His regen rebuilt him from blown apart pieces. His strength shattered Kang's rock. And the boss wonders, is Gio's heart something else entirely now? Kang slides a cup across the table. Here, drink up. Inside though, he's counting winnings. A soft-hearted kid like this is a gold mine. Keep the kid close, he figures, and you've landed a huge asset. Out loud, he plays warm. You surprised me. I had you down as dead. Then the needling. Why hide your skills to play a grunt? He even acts hurt. Gio doesn't bite. Hand out. Give me yours first. A blink at the bloodied fingers held out. Your hand? Just a scratch, Kang shrugs. The kid grips tight. I know, that's the point. Head bowed, he goes quiet over the busted hand. Then eyes hard. Is this because of Lee Chae-won? A memory surfaces. Nightfield. Geo on his back. Hye-in, the superintendent, standing over him. Yes, he admits. What if another friend turns up he has to fight? Half amused, she looks down and tells him flat, you have to fight. Fighting a friend guts him. Years apart and they finally meet again. He pleads, almost desperate. Isn't there some way to talk them around? Back in the office, just for a beat, Kang's cracked stone face screams. Then Hye-in levels a finger at him. Kim Ji-oh, what do you want? He wants to save the friends still chained to the lab. She smirks. No, he means the friends helping the lab. Don't kid yourself, she warns. Words won't free high-rank subjects like them. They kill without a flinch. Maybe murderers a dozen times over. Does he really think people like that fall for a heartfelt plea? As he is now, the protagonist saves no one. They'll only use him. They'll feed him to the fire, then toss him aside, just like Lee Chae-won did. The friends he's bleeding to save are the ones who'll get him killed. Friends he trusted, steering him straight to his grave. Kneeling in the dark, he caves. They aren't the kids he knew. Reach for them, and he loses what's left of them. Hollow-eyed, he asks how he has to change to save any of them. The lesson replays. Hye-in liked his resolve, but not all of it. He had it wrong, she said, and the kid just blinked back a what? Change your whole mindset, she told him. Stop calling them friends. Stand above them, Hye-in says, not beside them, his own friends, and he can barely choke out a how. Then she bites her own thumb, blood welling up. Try absorbing it, she says, holding the bloodied finger out. Present day, a hand meets his. Done now, Geo says, the boss notes the change. No more lies, the protagonist says, cold and flat. Kang just sips his coffee. Heart rate, he says, 80 a minute. His stone heart thuds, veined red. The kid hears that pulse loud and clear. Then it hits him. Geo drank his blood and reads his heartbeat right back. The memory snaps back. Out in that lot, he'd marveled he could hear her pulse. Her reports backed it up. Some blood-type mutants feel a heartbeat through blood. Read someone's intent off their pulse, she'd said, and you own the conversation. The protagonist presses him. Why work with the lab that tortured them both? 2 words, flat and cold. Answer me. Kang sips his coffee, unbothered. So the kid can read his pulse now? He marvels at it. The weak lab runt came back a monster. What happened? Fine, the rock mutant says. Then he gets one question. What's his goal? Geo doesn't blink. He's taking the lab down. That does it. Kang chokes on his drink. Take down the lab? Yeah, comes the flat reply, and it fires right back. How deep is he in? Kang waves it off. Don't be reckless. That place doesn't just go down. Besides, all their old friends are tied to it now. Face them alone? The protagonist doesn't flinch. Destroy the lab, drag every last friend out. Then count him out, the boss says. He won't stand against the lab. Fine, then he'll take the man's intel himself, no permission, and rip it apart. That lands. Hands up, Kang's left stammering nothing at all. He clicks his tongue, cornered and out of moves. Then a hand slaps a thick stack of files onto the desk. This is everything he's been quietly gathering from inside the lab. Facility blueprints, the subject's code names, a list of the missing, abduction photos, experiment logs. Not all of it, but enough. The protagonist isn't buying it. Something's off. He points out the obvious. That's way too much inside intel on the lab. A loyal man wouldn't sit on its locations, its executives, its rankings. And the second he floated attacking the lab, the boss's heart started pounding, like he'd waited years for someone to finally say it. So Geo asks it straight, don't you want the lab gone too? Behind the calm, something chained and furious strains to break loose. Kang reels. Read that completely just off a heartbeat? He drops onto the couch, dropping the act. Nothing slips past that sense. Then he drags a hand down his face and admits it. Fine, he's right. He'd love to take the lab down too, but realistically, it's a suicide run. The lab is bigger than anyone thinks. Politics, business, even the underworld. Its core sits buried deep underground, somewhere no normal person could reach. His finger lands on the files, the root of all that monstrous reach. It's all built on the sacrifices of their own friends. With top-tier mutant subjects, the lab runs the whole country as it likes. Friends get baited in by their weaknesses and rewards. So the boss asks if, knowing all this, he still means to storm the lab. Geo doesn't blink. Free their captive friends, in their use for good. Big as the lab is, his mind's made up. But there's a catch. He needs help, and he asks Kang Do-hyung straight out. The boss says 2 of them isn't enough, but Geo cuts in. He's not alone. That stops him cold. A baffled what slipping out. Then he drops a name. Ever heard of Song Hye-in? It lands like a hammer.
Head of the mutant special team, the one even the lab won't touch, the strongest heart mutant alive, and her name just rolled off Kim Ji-o's tongue. Kang can't process it. Don't tell me she's backing you, the boss breathes. Cooperate and meet her now. Backed by her, the kid pleading the case. Maybe the friends really can turn. A lab flashback. Every kid in that cell trusted Ji-o. Still, the rock mutant wavers. Can he really trust this guy? Then the kid meets his eyes. Trust me. A long sigh.
You show up out of nowhere and flip everything, the boss mutters. Then Kang takes his hand. Fine, let's do this, he says, the deal sealed. Somewhere else, red light bleeds through a doorway as a figure walks in. A blood-streaked figure looms over a prisoner, naming her. Test subject 0032, Lim Na Rin. The lab's regeneration subject, grown to replace the boy they buried years ago. Now she hangs in chains, told flat, no one is coming to save you.